All right. Hello. Can you hear us?
Hello. Oh,
Hopefully
is
people
that
can hear us.
hopefully? Hello? Can you hear us?
Is this working?
If you can't hear us, say something about it.
No, so that's just going to encourage kidneys if he's in chat. Well, it is working on the first try. Okay. I mean, look, it is, look, it's the end of the cycle. We got to get this right eventually, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one of these times, just sort of by luck, we're bound to get it working.
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yep. So we have a shorter card list than usual this week. Um, yeah, we're trying to figure out what you do on a card rating stream when there aren't cards to rate. Actually, we could tell them about the idea we had for next week. Should we do that?
Yes,
Or
yeah.
should we make that a surprise? Oh, no, because it can't be a full
No, no, no. It can't
surprise,
be a
right?
surprise.
Because you got to get community involvement. All right,
Yeah.
you want to tell them or should I?
Well, I mean, I think you did. You just said you did last year, right? So you probably
Okay,
have
yeah.
more.
So we're thinking about bringing back something from last year, where what we're going to do is look at the cards from kind of the full cycle and kind of let the community vote and decide who our all stars are for the cycle. So, you know,
Yeah. So
basically, what are the cards that had sort of the most impact? So yeah, well, Brett, that's going to be tough. Actually, third
yeah,
base. So third base is going
that's
to be
true. I
tough
forgot about
because
him.
Brett, was really at the top of the meta for a long time.
It still really is. I mean, he's
Yeah,
very playable even
but
now.
Dave Kingman is a release card that still sees builds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Well, first base is going to be tough because you have options. You have Lou Gehrig or Lou Gehrig or Lou Gehrig or you know, I
Yeah,
guess Norm Cash maybe, but a
some
lot of Lou
some of them are
Gehrig.
going to be tougher than others. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. Um, so we were thinking we would do that. So we're going to try to get together and maybe put a little bit of a poll up because we want to be able to release the fan voting for all stars and all that. So
yeah.
um, so yeah, we got that we can show. Looks like the polling said we should talk about some real baseball work and card ratings. And card ratings. So
No votes for marbles. This really disappointing that
clearly Gavagoo Luigi is elsewhere at the moment.
apparently, yeah.
I'm
As he
just
has,
saying, if he comes back and starts talking about marbles, I'm definitely going to point to this poll and tell
and
him
look,
this was his chance.
we asked people for marbles. They said no. It's too bad. Yeah.
Rating the 42 separate spotlight packs. I still think they meant well. They're. I mean, it's amazing that when the cycle's over, they can make unforced errors on this, but I think they made two big errors with the spotlight packs. Okay, the first is you don't go in the forums and just ask, hey guys, what cards would you like me to put in a spotlight pack? Isn't this just a way of saying, like, so what cards have you been wanting to buy that you're about to purchase? Oh, let's put that. Oh, yeah, I want to purchase a Cy Young. Can you put him in the spotlight pack?
You know, it's sort of funny because actually, in some ways, it's not the worst thing to ask. It's just what you should do is put all the cards people don't ask for in the spotlight packs.
Oh, yes.
But you
Yeah.
know,
Plus, from a like customer service point of view, uh, yeah, exactly.
yeah. I mean, so I did. I looked at these spotlights when they first came out. I had them as actually fairly positive EV. I mean, obviously the variance is huge. Um,
Right.
and then
Okay.
now it's really they're quite bad.
But also, they also missed an opportunity to at least like I would have given them a little bit of credit if they had done this. Okay. They couldn't have made Spotlight Pack 42 actually be like bring back the Jackie Robinson mission one?
They could just put the PTCS Jackie Robinson in there. Why not?
Yeah,
You know, giving everyone all the cards anyway. You know, just might as well give everyone that one too.
that's true.
Um,
Duke Snyder,
but
50% pull. Yeah, yeah. Was
yeah,
it Duke and the Campanella?
Duke and the Campanella. And I mean, you could throw in the useless Cuff Rio if you want, but you know,
Yep.
um, no, I mean that's the thing is that it's sort of funny because there's actually now like an opportunity for some cards to actually have real, like Gary Carter is a 200K card right now.
Is he
Just actually
200K?
like
Hold on. Let me.
yeah,
I'm curious.
actually
Is
probably
it
more. I think he's going up.
just because he's in the mission and the alternative is buying the perfect?
Well, he's also good is the other thing. So people actually want to play the card. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's
but you're
mostly.
never getting. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if you're getting value back at this stage. Is what you're
But
saying?
no, I mean I think there's a good chance this card is actually this price is going up. I think for the moment.
I was gonna say I should sell my Gary Carter, but what am I gonna buy with? Okay, but just you understand, Carter 399 is what it costs you. Okay, I bought a Lindor for significantly under that, just like recently.
Yes, well, there's. I mean, the question of why anyone was selling that Lindor for that price is also, worth considering. But, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, so what are the other options? I guess the point, because if you don't want to do it with Carter, you have to have the 100 Tom Seaver.
that's right.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
reason it's so much. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. But partly this also says that people misvalue what an all perfect pack is worth.
Oh, of course. I mean, people. I mean, okay. Also, people are just at some point. There's lots of points, and you have nothing to do with them. So, okay, you might as well do some missions because what else are you gonna do?
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, the all perfect packs are not. I can check actually quickly what
But
they're
that's in,
they're
okay.
worth.
So Carter's actually almost. I mean, I don't think he's going to go for 399, but he's clearly going for at least 217 then.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm checking.
Um, okay, so we could rate some cards, but actually, I think it might be fun to talk about some of the real baseball stuff too, uh, because actually, you know, well, I think the big thing is I've come to the conclusion that some of the stuff I was hammering Marcus for on the modeling is possibly closer to Marcus's take than mine. Okay, I shouldn't say it that way. Okay, the P Babbitt's completely nuts, but it's only mostly nuts. It's not entirely nuts. Uh,
Okay. Well,
oh,
you did not
Daviluigi
find.
Daviluigi no longer wants to do marbles. Now he wants to talk see-through pants.
Okay. Well, that's yeah. We can. What
Uh,
I guess they're S pants, right? They're see-through pants. So they're S pants.
yeah, they're S. Yeah, they're S tier.
Yeah. S pants. Yeah.
Uh, I'm still, yeah. I
I mean, in
mean,
all honesty, it is really amazing to mess things up that badly. But like.
I'm just look. Okay, as far as jerseys though, like on a scale from like 1 to Nationals, where do you put this?
That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Like yeah, like all the super tiny font. Everything is like the spacing is all wonky. The pants are see through. Like I don't know. It's just pretty absurd.
Yeah. Um,
They're the same. There's no way they're the same as last year. I don't know. They don't. That's just like Manfred going crazy. Probably yeah.
Chinese knockoff jersey sellers are making fun of these.
Yeah, probably.
Um,
I did see an
so
interesting point though that it may become hard to authenticate these jerseys because they're going to look so similar to the fake ones.
just go by quality.
Right. Yeah. Better quality.
If it's got quality, then
Yeah.
If it's got quality, then it's clearly fake.
Right.
Um, so I think I want to come back and talk about PBABIP because I've actually come to the conclusion that PBABIP is a real skill.
Okay.
So I sort of mentioned last week I was starting to play around with this and kind of making the point that like it's all location, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just ask you, unless you've looked at this, I'm guessing your answer is going to be the same as mine was intuitively. What is a good location for a pitch? Just say a fastball to make it, simple.
Somewhere on the
Where
edge of
where do
the
you
strike
want to
zone.
locate the fastball?
And somewhere on the edge of the strike zone.
Okay, so let me give you an idea of what that might look like. So this is kind of coming from the modeling, right? Um,
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, sure. So up and in would be a good spot to put it. Um, but like what I was always what I was always taught as a pitcher is, this whole idea of like a donut hole, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Just
So
yeah. On the
so this one's coming out of the model, but something like this.
right.
That's intuitively what I would have expected, right? Does that
Yeah.
sound reasonable?
Yeah. Pretty much what I expected. Yeah.
And here's the actual pitch scores for comparison, and they look something like that, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Looks reasonable.
So this is kind of a smooth version of that.
Yeah.
And then I saw a plot that completely changed this. So what I started doing is, the StatCast also has information about, exit velocities and all that, right?
Sure.
So what that means is you can get, actually I think they even give you a version of like a predicted WOBA
Yep.
for every ball in play.
Yep.
And that doesn't look like this. Here's what that looks like for a righty. Now this is from the point of view of the catcher. So that basically means that obviously middle is bad,
Yep.
but high outside corner in the strike zone and low inside corner in the strike zone are also bad. And this is not something that I would have predicted, like before
No,
looking at it. But as
I
soon
would
as
not
I
have
saw it,
either.
it's like, wait, of course that's true. Okay, what this is telling you is hitters are really good at making contact. And basically the barrel of the bat, is like a fixed distance from your shoulders.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so it's actually not middle. It's actually, kind of an arc. I mean, maybe, this is, whether you want to call this an arc or yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it makes sense. Yeah. That's true.
And one of the ways you can see that, exactly what's happening here, I'll show you the same thing. This is just the same thing for lefties,
Right. Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Until I like that quote. One of the I forget, is it Shannon? But the quote that's on the loading screen about like, they call it up and in because the arms are attached to the shoulders, But that basically, and I mean this makes sense. Like I remember always, like David Ortiz, you throw a ball down and into him, it's gone, right?
I
That
mean,
was
but this
always.
thing is everyone should love down and in basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because like as a hitter, this is not what my chart would look like, but that's because, I don't have any pop.
I guess it's also
So
it's
I
probably
like to like I like low and in, but actually I want to hit the ball low and away and just go to right because you know, I don't have the power to put the ball up and away over a fence.
yeah. I mean, I guess the thing is that this thing is going to move sort of laterally based on the batter's position in the batter's box.
Yeah, and it's a little different for different pitches. So for example, you know, here's what this looks like for a changeup, as an example. I don't know if can you see this, or should I go to the bigger version of it, the bottom
The
right
bigger one,
here?
bigger one's definitely easier to see if you have it easily.
Yeah, I just got to open
Okay.
the here. So here's what this looks like for a change up, for example. And, you know, it looks just a little bit different, right? For a change up, you know, if you leave the change up a little bit in, the hitter still kind of gets the barrel on it. But, you know, it's the same kind of idea that there's some stripe like this, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, I can show you same idea. I can, yeah. So see, like change up, don't leave the pitch. Uh, well, don't leave a change up in general. I think is part of the message, right?
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
that's definitely the conventional wisdom as well.
um, but I'm just gonna find, yeah. So for example, you know, here's a fastball. So see the fastball, that stripe is a little bit further away from the lefty than it was for like all pitches. You know, but same
Yeah,
idea,
which I
right?
guess makes sense because probably on a fastball you end up you're
Yeah,
going to end up contacting the ball further back,
yeah,
so it's going to be
because
yeah,
traditionally you're still taught to kind of hit an outside fastball the other way.
yeah,
You know, or yeah, sorry, here, this one's even more clear. Um, yeah, this one's kind of even more clear. That's the 2023 data, so it's a little bit bigger.
yep,
Um, yeah, but if that kind of makes sense, and yeah, there is some, you know, pitch dependent thing. So for example, here's a slider, and for a slider, it's a little bit more of a mess, you know, because tracking, you know, if you hit your spot, tracking it's harder, I guess, right?
yeah. And sure, also once you get the fast sliders, there's some pitch type mixing that's happening.
Yeah.
It's going to change into it. Yeah,
So in Toati, I don't have expected batting average. I just have the expected WOBA from the StatCast stuff. You could probably make a version of it, but you know, you would think that the places where the WOBA is higher are also the places with the higher batting average,
probably yeah.
right?
I'm
So,
assuming for most, yeah. Unless
okay,
there's some
but
very
what this means is, you know, what this is telling you is it's not just about control, but that even like within the zone, you know, if you hit the right parts of the zone, basically that control is a P-BABIP skill. Or as Kidney
um,
said, congratulations, you found another way to make a model that says that like control is important.
yeah. I mean, I guess
But the question is, looking at this, doesn't it sort of then make sense that like P-BABIP is a skill for the pitchers that have enough command? Well, sorry,
yeah.
but
I mean, I
that's
guess
right. There's a picture you think about as command. I was thinking about a control like you know, the
yeah. I
OOTP
guess
control rating is probably the closest thing to command. But I agree. I do mean command in the sense that I don't mean do you hit somewhere in the zone. I really do mean do you
the
hit the
specific
right
spot.
part
I
of the
guess the
zone.
question is that how many pitchers actually have the skill to do this? It seems like very few, probably,
Very
right?
few,
Like,
but not quite zero. So,
right.
and actually, this also explains. So I now have a much better list, and I can show you what this looks like than I did last week. So with this,
It,
actually, we
I
get a
think
much more realistic list of like the big.
it's getting cut off a bit on the left. If I think the tier thing is hiding it.
Okay, let me see if I can figure out how to.
I think if you just hide the cards, it'll probably come back. Hopefully.
Is that a better way to do it?
Oh yes, that's better.
Sorry about that. I can make this a bit bigger. So now I get a different list of the best pitchers, and one that actually looks a lot more realistic. But like one of the
Okay, so our initial conclusion is that it's best to have your first name be Logan because then your two of them was in the top four.
yes,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah,
good thing we figured that
definitely.
out.
But I'm trying to figure out why did I forget to upload that? Those uploaded. Hold on one second. I may have just forgotten to put the 2023. You know what? I did. I forgot to put the 2023 picture data in here, which is, of course, the most useful one for this discussion. Let me upload that real quick. Sorry about that.
The stream doesn't lag too crazily.
Uh, Hopefully it's okay.
I guess one of the other problems is it becomes difficult to measure this sort of ability to have such precise command. Because it's not just like if the ball ends up in the right place, because you could have been aiming for a different place and you sort of get lucky.
Right. Okay, it's going to take a few minutes to upload, but what I can do is I can show, bet I can show a local version of it while I'm doing this instead. Let me see if I can do this. Um, okay, yeah. So if you look at Snell, for example, this now explains why Snell is so effective kind of pitching in this spot to righties. Right? It's not that he's hitting a
Right,
corner,
right.
it's that he's specifically hitting the correct corner.
Yeah.
Right? Or to give you another idea on the opposite end, this was a rough trajectory, right? But if you look at what he did, the problem is basically that like he's throwing, he's throwing right in that incorrect stripe.
Yes, which includes a lot in the middle, which is I assume is
Including
the
middle
worst
middle,
place.
but especially like the incorrect stripe. But actually, I think this is also why it ends up like hating all of these slurs, right? Um, but basically, the point is what I think this is telling you is that like P Babbitt is actually a command skill. And that if you have good enough command, you should do this. It also actually says that some pitchers probably are taking better tactic than others. So like, Snell just like hammering the correct corner of the zone is doing great, right? But like
Yeah.
is an example of one where, you know, I wonder if this actually says that, despite the talent, he's actually not doing this optimally, right? If you look at DeGrom's one of the only guys I've seen that actually like has a bit of a donut hole, right?
Yeah.
Like this versus lefties here, this is actually like a about the best donut hole we've seen. But with that, so he's actually hitting the part of the zone he wants to. But maybe he's actually aiming for the wrong parts of the zone and would be even better if he aimed for like exactly the right part of the zone.
I mean, versus righties, he looks like he's throwing in the sort of down and away corner quite a lot, which I mean is certainly consistent with how he's seemed to pitch when I watch him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Versus righties, this is great because if you look at this versus righties, he's basically throwing like the opposite diagonal stripe, except with a hole in the middle in the place where they intersect.
Yeah.
Right. So what he's throwing versus righties is like dead perfect.
And it's
You should literally
103.
throw like the other stripe in the X, except miss middle. That would be like the perfect part of the zone to throw in, and that's what
Yes.
he's doing, right?
And if it's 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and 96-mile-an-hour sliders, then that also helps.
Yeah, you know, so stuff is a thing too, right? Right. I'm not saying stuff
Yeah.
isn't a thing, but basically, so I think that's the first question: is this actually like convincing that we should be thinking about P Babbitt as something that the best pitchers, not just they're like getting lucky, or there's like, I remember there was this idea of like, maybe Johan Santana, something about the changeup just generates weak contact because changeups are weird because Pedro could do it too.
I mean,
Um,
knuckleballers, I think, have like pretty consistently been shown with that phenomenon.
Knuckleballers, I agree. Yeah, the knuckleballs are
Yeah,
just but knuckleballs are sort of their own thing, right?
yeah.
But that maybe wasn't that. Maybe it was just like incredible command.
I guess because I mean, I don't think of Santana at least as someone who had like super, super sharp command. Like it was more that the changeup was just so difficult to hit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
I don't
that's the
know.
question. But does this convince you that actually we should be thinking about PBABIP as actually, again, I don't think it's meaningful in the range from OOTP this time around where like it could range from, 150 to 400 or whatever. I don't think it's that level of a skill.
No, I mean
But I
that.
do think what this says is that DeGrom, you know, a pitcher, a pitcher like DeGrom could durably have a PBABIP in the like 250 to 260 range, I would think, if he's really just hitting the correct corner. If you really have this kind of command, it's plausible that that's what you're doing. Without having to, as we've joked earlier in the cycle, without having to like borrow the Orioles defense.
Right.
Um,
Um,
is that plausible?
I mean, there certainly seems like there'd be some sense to the idea that like the pitcher could throw the ball in consistently in locations that are difficult to make solid contact against. Which I assume if you can't make solid contact, it's going to have to lower the BABIP,
So,
right?
so
Like
the
it's
score points out, yes, if you have nasty stuff. So that's the second thing I've done here, uh, is I'm now giving a score for both location and stuff on these pitches. And yeah, you can see what's happening is basically the stuff on the fastball is really driving it, even if he misses sometimes. Um, and maybe the best version of that here. So I've now got some of these best pitches by type. One or two of these come from weird classifications. So one of the things that you run into here, I'll show this for the pitching overview as well. Where is, hold on. Okay, so if you look at like what makes a good fastball in terms of stuff, here, this is what I was gonna show you. So if you look at what makes a good fastball in terms of stuff, like so something about speed and you could make it spin rate or some kind of movement or however you want to think about it, right? So you'd expect that it's the pitches in the top right that are the best fastballs, right? Really high speed and nasty movement. Does that sort of make sense? Hold on. Isidafo is saying that the call crashed. Let me see if I can fix that. So you can hear me, but not Isidafo, I assume. Is that right?
are we back.
I think we're
We did it.
back. Can they hear both of us? All right, we got it working
Oh
again.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry
yeah.
about that. Okay, so I was going to say, so here's like a projected pitch score for fastballs. So this is one place that things still look weird. Okay, but this is because of StatCast classification. So you see the upper right, really high speed, really big movement. That's where you expect to be a great fastball, right? And you'd
Yep.
expect that like the one towards zero, so like no movement, dead straight, low speed, that's a bad fastball. But you
Yeah.
see, I don't know if you can see where my mouse is. Do you see sort of the bottom
Yes.
left side of this, Bob?
Yeah.
It suddenly gets big again.
Who
So
are those, or what kinds
yeah,
of
so
pitchers are
what's
there?
happening there, I believe, is that these are really not fastballs, but
Is it
they're
possible
being
those are side
classified.
armors?
Well, so that's what I was going to show you, because when I looked at the best pitches by type, and I look at the best fastballs, a lot of these are the usual suspects. And then there's Hobie Milner. And
Okay. Suter too. Suter has a pretty slow fastball.
yeah. And
I
so,
know
well, but I
Gasky has
think,
like 90s, but he gets a ton of movement, so that makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, but I think these couple, I don't think it's that Hobie Milner has really the best fastball in the majors. I think it's that Hobie Milner has a pitch which is being classified as a fastball, which really isn't a fastball. But if it were a fastball, would look like it had nasty movement because it's a breaking ball. That's my guess.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it could be. I don't really
So
know
I want
anything
to
about
try to
Hobie
clean
Milner,
up a
so
little bit of this. But for the most part, we actually get something that looks pretty meaningful for these pitches now, by dividing into location and stuff. Yeah, it's a crazy sinker spore is saying. So that makes sense that if you have something that's being called a fastball but really like looks like a sinker, that's why this categorization says, this is an incredible fastball, right? Um,
yeah,
because you're basically taking a breaking ball and saying I managed to throw my fastball with ridiculous movement.
yeah.
Um, So there are a few things I want to show you to try to partly convince you it's real and then partly ask sort of some interesting stuff. But I think the very first one, just because it's fun, is I went and tried to find the best pitch from 2023.
Okay.
Now, this is not quite the best pitch from 2023 because I should explain a little bit of the methodology here. So a high pitch score is one that's expected to save a large number of runs.
Yeah.
I don't look at men on base, but I do look at the count. So what that
Right.
means really is this is the best 3-2 pitch. Because a great
Okay.
3-2
Yeah.
pitch is better, right? So this is not quite the
Yes.
best pitch of the season, but I want to show you the best 3-2 pitch of the season, and you can tell me if this looks convincing here. Hopefully this shows.
The off-speed pitch is below the zone. Hunter.
Yeah, that's a good pitch.
That is
I mean,
100 miles.
And then
Yeah,
get
so
the
one time.
off-speed
This
pitch.
is 100
109-hour
miles an
splitters are
hour.
good.
100 miles an hour. With enough movement, yeah, that you're going to get
Yeah.
a batter to chase. But basically, it's saying that like that is a pitch that even though it's out of the strike zone, with that movement, batters will chase that pitch if you throw
Yes.
it 100 miles an hour there. That's basically
Yeah, if
what
you
it's
throw a
saying.
100-mile-an-hour splitter, it's tough. That's yeah.
um, yeah. So that's what it identifies as the best. But since I'm a
Okay.
hitter guy, I want to show you what I want to show you instead are a couple examples of pitches that have very high scores that actually got hit for home runs.
Okay.
Just because I was looking at that. So here, this is one of the highest. I'm going to pause it, by the way, right before contact and ask you to guess where the ball is hit. Because that to me is the craziest thing here.
Marlins down a run, tying run at second.
Where's that ball hit? So that's
Soler pulls the ball a
pretty
lot.
good. That's a pretty darn good fastball with some movement. Obviously, Soler finds it, right?
I'm probably the center if I had to guess, but I don't know.
All right. Watch where this ball is hit. This is just nuts.
And Soler hits one to left. Soler, solo, and so
That is not a cheapo either.
No. I mean, he absolutely barrels it, but like, I'll show the replay. I just want you to look again. That is 99 on the outside corner, tailing in just a little bit, and look at where he hits that.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's one of those
pretty
that,
good.
like, as an amateur, you like to watch some of these guys and you're like, on a good day I could do that. You look at that bit of hitting and it's like, nope.
Yeah, you gotta get around pretty fast on that one. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Sport. You say dead pull. I mean, how do you pull that ball? So, but these are the ones that this pulls up here. I'm going to show you another one that, like, um, again, it's not just that these are hit for home run. I do think these are excellent pitches here. Here you go. Actually, I'll play it again. I just want you to see where the pitch is. Like, this is
yeah,
like
it's well pretty
breaking
far below the
ball.
zone.
Look at where the breaking ball starts. Look at where that breaking ball ends. you know, like
Yeah,
I know it got hit for a home run, but that's kind of what this metric's trying to find. Because basically, what this is saying is like that's actually a really high quality pitch. Uh,
yep,
and the batter just beat him. You know,
yep.
But like you shouldn't actually look at that, because like a FIP kind of calculation is going to say he gave up a home run.
Home
This
run
is a
bad.
bad thing. But this kind of model is going to look at it and just say, you know what, the batter. I mean, you don't really want to say the batter got lucky because like that's a hell of a piece of hitting, right? Uh,
Right. I mean, it's more the pitcher got unlucky than the batter got lucky, really.
yeah,
Probably.
yeah. You know what? That's a good way to say it. And it is not surprisingly, some of the, here's another one that like this ball has no business being a home run. Who's this off? Okay, off Barrios too. All right, watch where this, watch where this is.
That's even farther down. The other one.
Yeah, like
And that one
that is,
was way
that
farther.
is like a breaking ball that he gets him to chase a ball like at his shoe tops.
Yeah, no, I mean, no one's
If
just gonna
you
get
can
that.
get a major league hitter to do that, you should feel like you won that confrontation.
Yes, yeah, yes, I would think so normally.
Right? Uh, and it just isn't. So it's, um, yeah, it's just like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean it's
Um,
major league hitters are pretty good.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. But still, it's just like that was, actually, I want to find one other thing. I want to see if I can find the worst pitch of the season. Let me see if I can find that as well.
I mean, I assume. Actually, is there going to be a higher one than the 3-0 pitch that's just so far outside the zone they'll never be swung at?
Uh, Let me see.
Maybe at 3-2.
Well,
I don't
probably
know.
3-2 would be worse. Yeah,
Yeah, probably
probably.
3-2. Yeah.
Nope. Actually, I've got one with a worse score than that.
Was it thrown by a position player by any chance?
No. Nope. The second worst pitch of the season was thrown by Matt Duffy
Okay, well that
in this
figures.
model, so that's fair. But no, the worst. I'm trying to see if I can figure out how to cue this up. Where is it? Connor Joe is involved though, so that's always a good sign. So
Okay,
it must have been April
I guess
because
so.
everyone was making mistakes to Connor Joe in April, right?
Yeah,
Um, all right,
including the live update algorithm. That was
yeah,
also make mistakes to kind
here
of
you
show as
go.
well.
Well, no, but this is no. See, the live update algorithm again. I got to give Marcus credit. The live update algorithm was looking at pitches like this and saying, nope, it's not Connor Joe. It's just the pitchers. You watch where this breaking ball is.
Yeah,
No, it's not an 85 mile an hour fastball. It's an 85 mile an hour slurve where the
that doesn't really
path that
move
the
at all.
slurve is taking is basically, if anything, like exactly the swing path of the bat.
But also, I mean, it moves like 3 inches. This is just spinning basically in the middle of the plate.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
just not
spinner,
that
and
good.
it ends up. I want to see. Look at where he hits this. This is like oops, sorry. This is about as middle as yeah. Look where he hits this. That's just middle.
Yeah. So on the opposite end of a 100 mile an hour splitter is good. A 79 mile an hour just meatball is not good. Okay. So well, that seems reasonable.
Absolutely. So the good news is I think that means this is actually kind of working. Yeah, no, he threw a spinner, but like still, you know.
But I mean, so have you looked at it? Like, how well does the 2022 predict 2023? Because that would be an interesting thing
Yeah, and
to
it's
see.
actually pretty good. Oh, I have this mislabeled. That should say 20. So, except for except for the guy at the top of the 2022 rankings. Uh, except for that, hey, in 2022 he was excellent. But he was excellent in 2022. That's the thing, right? Uh, no, but it actually correlates much better than the other stats I looked at.
No,
Um,
that's good. Good sign generally.
Again, I mean, you know, it's pitching, right? So pitchers do get hurt and, you know, things break down.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, what I wanted to do was to highlight a couple of things and sort of, you know, because I know everyone's thinking about the fantasy league, you know, like that's one of this is the time to do drafts and all that. And so I wanted to highlight a few of the players that we get a different answer for. By the way, it works pretty well back to about 2020. 2019 does not work as well. And one of the things I was going to ask is if there was a change they made in the methodology somewhere around there. Because it looks like something like the same model that works, you know, going back to sort of the pandemic. Just something looks off in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was definitely, I don't remember when it was. There was a change at some point where the pitch velocity was measured 5 feet after it left the pitcher, after 5 feet beyond the mound, and then they changed it so it
Oh,
was
well,
one
yeah.
of those
So
pitcher's hands.
that's the kind of thing that would definitely throw a model off if it's trained on, you know, one situation, right?
Yeah. I don't remember
This.
when that happened though. It was at some point that changed, and it rose. I think the average velocity of fastballs went up. Yeah, was that when Stack was implemented? Okay, so
No,
that
so
was earlier enough then.
StatCast. I think I have data back to 2017 in their
Yeah,
database.
so that is quite possibly when they made that change to the velocity, when they measured velocity.
Um, so, for example, here are the pitchers that it likes best, and most of these are kind of the usual suspects, right? Which is a good sign.
DL Hall's kind of surprising. That
Go
was,
ahead.
and he didn't. DL Hall. I mean, it's a good prospect, but I didn't think he had a particularly great
Yeah,
year.
that's what I was gonna say. There were a couple of players I wanted to mention that. Let me see if the pit. Okay, this still didn't upload yet. Hold on. Let me grab. I have a local version I can grab for this. It's still pushing. Apparently, it's slow. What you know, while the whole streaming thing happens,
That makes sense. Yeah.
it will upload at some point soon. Um, One sec. I've got to have a local version somewhere. Yeah, but that's what I wanted to do, was to look at a couple of the ones where, yeah, so DL Hall, for example, yeah, you see it kind of likes, so it's only 371 pitches, so, not a lot of innings in there, right?
Yeah.
The big thing is it absolutely loves the slider.
Yes.
In 96 examples. I'm not sure I've worked out, how long it takes to stabilize, but
Right.
um, oh
I would assume
wow, okay,
relatively
okay,
quickly.
look at this donut hole against righties. Well, okay, I can see why it likes that, right?
Yes.
Um, it actually makes a lot of sense. And how did DL Hall? What were the actual numbers in?
3.26 ERA in 19 innings. So decent, but nothing spectacular.
Okay. Yeah, and again, you say 19 innings, so it's not. Baseball's
Yeah.
reputation, the donut hole is probably
Yeah.
not
It's
intentional.
hard to say. I mean, he was the previous year. He was like, it seems like he was just really bad. I mean, it was 6 ERA and not a lot of innings, but
Let me see where I have him the previous
actually, maybe
year.
just getting BABIP actually.
Well, let me
He might
see
have just
where I
gotten
have him the
BABIP.
previous
But
year. Um, did he not even throw 300 pitches in
he only threw
2023?
13 innings, so probably he didn't.
Okay, here I've got 157 pitches. It did not like his 2022 nearly as much. 2022 it has him as a little bit below average. Um, but actually, it still likes the command on the slider, but it doesn't like the stuff. Okay, it's 30 pitches. It's not that meaningful.
Yeah,
But
probably not.
actually, if you look at this, yeah, I mean, the command is pretty good. So yeah, actually, I think the command is probably fine, right?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, Cage decided that that was definitely not his big like calling card as a prospect.
No, but I'm just looking at, that does seem to be the difference. So that was one. Um, but there were a few of these that kind
I
of
think this is
really here. Sam Bachman is a player I don't think I've ever seen throw a pitch.
no, I
Um,
don't know who that
I was asking Sporer about him, and he actually kind of liked him as like a bullpen arm for this year.
is.
Um, but I think that was one
Interesting.
of the things I wanted to ask was sort of, are there some names on this list that either should be there and aren't that are interesting, or, you know, um, or alternatively, you know,
Hmm.
like look like they shouldn't be
No,
there.
I mean, let's just look at the. Well, Zach Wheeler is one that seems like I would think this kind of thing would like him a lot,
Well, here,
but
let me give you the, let me restrict it to more pitches. Okay, so it doesn't. I mean, it likes Wheeler, but it has him. What is that? 10th or 11th, something like that, among starters for 23.
yeah. Oh, it's Kikuchi. That's sort of
So it
Kikuchi
does like
was.
him.
Hmm.
Yeah, the one that was surprising to me was Pivetta. But the funny thing is, you can see here exactly where Pivetta like made this switch to go to the bullpen for a little while in this like his pitch score, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess that does seem
But
like a
basically,
pretty
what
marked
this is
improvement.
suggesting is that Pivetta probably, like more than anybody, was being killed by the thing that the Red Sox were calling a defense. Yeah, so Kikuchi, what is it? Okay, so that's actually one thing I've noticed is almost everybody that throws a slider. Here. It just basically thinks that people should throw more sliders. So like see the average fastball is like a little below average pitch, right? Is what this is saying.
Yeah.
Sliders, it just loves sliders. Now, maybe part of this is because sliders are typically thrown in counts where there's like a good risk reward to missing the zone, right?
I'm sure that's part of it. Yeah.
So, like, if you were throwing a lot of, first pitch sliders, it might not like him as much.
Well, I mean, you could certainly look at the just pitches by count. I mean, I'm sure there's enough if you just
Yeah,
sort
I
of
could
clump
probably,
them
I could
all.
probably do. I can't do it by player and count is the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah. To
Um,
do it.
but in general, it kind of just likes sliders, I think, because of this risk reward.
No. Yeah, I guess it's another
Cutter.
good point. Is that yeah, cutters and sliders
Yeah,
probably do get sort of
cutter, yeah, in between the two. So cutter, yeah, basically zero. So like a cutter is basically an average major league pitch, is what it's saying.
let's say it's a little. Let's say his cutter's a little good. Yeah.
Who's cutter? Oh,
I'll say. Uh,
it likes that. Yeah, that it still doesn't upload.
it's so stupid. No, but I mean, probably there's some like I know there's I'm sure there's some mixing of cutters and sliders and slurves and sweepers
Yeah,
and whatnot.
I should be doing some kind of. I mean, you can throw a bad. You can throw. I mean, there are players that do throw a bad slider. It definitely. But like the best sliders it really likes. Or sliders again. Yeah, the best sliders it really likes. They're definitely like there is such a thing as a bad slider. Okay, it hates Alec Manoah's slider.
Probably hits Alec Manoah's everything.
What?
It probably hits Alec Manoah's everything this past season.
Possibly, yeah.
What happened? Because the last, I mean, we listened. Was it last week? It was all these sidearm guys. It was not really a fan of. But I see Ryan Thompson on there for sinkers.
Here, let me just. I'm just gonna put the link in the chat. By the way, if anyone wants to play with this, I've got everything up just at this, the root URL, or at least I will once. Still don't understand why it didn't push the changes yet.
So where are these sidearm guys we looked at? What happened to them with this changes?
I don't think it helps them that much because they're still. It's really a pitch classification problem, right?
Probably.
Like the problem is that like a sidearm, screwball is just not the same thing as an overhand
Right. They should really
screwball.
it should be a separate sidearm
Exactly.
bucket, basically. Yeah.
That's really the problem. Okay, yeah, but here I can see who it likes. So you can see who it likes for the top, pitches. Yeah. So curveball, for example, again, average pitch is one thing, but the best curveballs are still great, is what this is saying.
Yeah.
And then there are just some.
It's giving James Karinchak a positive location score. That seems interesting.
For his curveball, really. All right, hold on. I want to look at the map. Why can't this load? Is anyone else able to get these to load yet for 2023?
No, it's not loading for me either.
I can give you. Here's 2022. I can look at his. It's not the best. Okay, see, 2022. It doesn't love his location. No, it says the curveball location's pretty good.
I mean, when I've watched him, at least it's just the pitches go randomly all over the place. It appears. So, like,
it's possible. But anyway, yeah, I guess that was the question I wanted to ask, especially for some of the people that are thinking about like fantasy drafting or that kind of thing. So one question, yeah, I guess okay. The other thing is, if you were to throw, so let's say that you're really wild with a curveball, but you have ridiculous movement, right? If you only throw that on like 0-2, you might actually get a positive control score.
yeah, I mean, I guess sort of randomly all over the place is better than like consistently in bad places, which
Well,
probably
especially
happen.
because if you have enough movement that the stuff kind of causes people to chase, like it's okay to miss the zone if you're throwing the pitch 0-2.
Right. I mean, as long as you're not missing it by so much that. Actually, that's a good question. How does this deal with wild pitches?
It's not giving you an extra penalty for it. It's just, but it's, giving it a score that assumes like no one in their right mind would swing at it.
Right, right. The ball 100% of the time, but it's not giving it extra penalties for the.
Yeah, because I don't think it's that easy to detect,
Right.
like
Because it's going to depend on the
it's the
catcher.
flip side of like hitters are incredibly good is catchers are also incredibly good.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Um, but yeah, so one of the things I was now wondering is I can apply this to the minor league data, which should exist. And I'd really like to do this and ask kind of who in the minors is actually throwing, pitches that would be expected to be effective in the majors right now. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you have another question is just how does this translate from Japan with a different ball, if at all? Like, can you?
Yeah. So if someone has that data, that I feel is going to be a little tougher because the part of the problem is the ability of a pitcher to actually reproduce that trajectory.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You would expect that a pitcher like should be able to reproduce their trajectory from the minors in the
I mean,
majors.
the balls are slightly different in the minors, and they're not like a lot different, but I think they are slightly different.
Are they? I didn't know that.
They're manufactured, I think, by a different company. I want to say I'm not 100% sure, or they have there's some kind of difference, I think, but it's much more minor than like the Japanese one.
Okay. But yeah, if anyone knows how to get that data, I'd like to try that. Because then you really could just sort of, try to project prospects based on like this kind of tracking.
Well, you can definitely. Let me see. I know you can get the game feeds from minor league games fairly easily. Does it actually work with the?
Yeah,
Neither
but I
search
need
stuff.
actually the tracking, right, to do this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't know.
so that's one. It also says a few like Alcantara. It says got really unlucky this past season, so he didn't like completely lose it. He just,
Oh, so that injured. So that probably didn't help.
yeah. But I guess that was the thing I was wondering, are there any other names that kind of stand out as far as like, yeah, like I mentioned, Pavetta. Tell me this. Still,
Is anyone at the bottom who looks weird? That's another one.
sure. So here are the worst for like minimum 1750 pitches.
Yeah, Bassett, I guess, because Bassett was okay, right? He just probably doesn't quite understand what to do with him throwing so many different kinds of pitches in the same pitch.
Yeah, I'm still. So I was trying to find why this didn't upload properly. Try that. I'll just go from this version, which mirrors the other one. So Bassett.
Because Bassett, I
Um,
think, he throws a lot of different pitches within each pitch, right? So it's
he
probably just gets sort of mixed
throws.
up.
Yeah, they've got him as 8 different pitches here.
But I think even like there's variations within those. Like there's, different kinds
So you think it
of
may be just a
cutters.
categorization thing?
I think probably, yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, this is. I haven't seen a chart like this.
No, he
Uh,
throws everything. It's just
yeah, I mean, this feels like a chart that sort of says like figure out what works for you and then only throw those.
well, I guess the other question is like, is he getting any kind of like sequencing boost or some things of
So
that nature from
that's
having all this?
something. So that's something that I could try to work out. If we believe these pitch scores, right? You could then actually try to understand something about sequencing.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well,
Well, okay. So part of the problem with Bassett is this right here on the location. When your deep red is like pretty middle, I don't think it matters which of the 8 pitches you select.
right. I mean, he was pretty good,
And here
I guess. So that
and here it is versus lefties. Like this is, like if you can throw 8 different pitches and like you hit middle with all 8 of them, that's still not good.
yeah. So I mean, maybe he is getting some kind of like actual, like a real advantage from some kind of tunneling or sequencing or something that just isn't sort of getting in here.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, this would have definitely. And here, let me throw some. Let me just go down to people that have fewer pitches as well.
But I mean, I agree that doesn't look that like that chart does not look what you
Yeah.
want. But
Here are minimum 300 pitches. Here's the bottom end. So a couple of these, like with Tim Hill, it might just
Hill and
be.
All are the sidearm guys.
Yeah, it might just be like it doesn't understand the pitch type, right? So that's one that maybe just needs something separate.
Waldron is a knuckleball. Yeah, okay.
And
I don't know.
Waldron, yeah, I mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one or two of those I can understand why. Um, but the rest of these, I didn't see anyone on this list that immediately stood out as like I thought they were good, except for Julio here. Uh, but then I actually went and like looked at the locations, and it's like, no, he actually just was awful in 2023. Because like I said, I showed you the 2022 list. He's actually at the top of the 2022 list.
Well, Luis Castillo's pretty far down. That one's a bit surprising. I mean, not like super far, but Sonny Gray is not as high as I
Flyer's
thought either.
disappointing. I really thought Flyer was going to be excellent for the Sox this year.
And he was not,
I
apparently.
bought into the whole like sinker thing from that arm slot. And here, just for fun, this is minimum 50 pitches.
Oh, we might actually get position players showing up now. There probably are some at 350 pitches.
I'm guessing they're not going to be at the top, but we
I
do
wouldn't
have
think
Orion
so.
Kerkering showing up here.
There we go.
He threw 60 excellent pitches, so he's better than a 40. Here you go.
Oh.
Here are your here. Okay,
Zach
got a
Birdie
few
is
position
500.
players in here. Yeah.
Yep, there they are. Luke Maley, Zach Short. Kind Falefa's better than a couple guys. That's something.
Yeah. Well, let me see what he's throwing. He's throwing so his EFIS, it basically says
Location score.
he should be
Minus
giving up like
25.
an extra 24 or 25 runs per 100 EFIS he throws, but his whatever they just called other is only, is not as bad.
You should throw the other.
He should throw the other, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever that is.
What is FFA? That doesn't mean fastball, right? That's
I don't know. I mean, that's just other.
yeah. Yeah, Austin Hedges is in there.
Yep.
It's probably bad if you're intended to actually be a pitcher and you're at the bottom of that list.
I thought wasn't FF? Isn't FF usually four seamer?
No, FF is a four seam fastball. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, FF is the four seam fastball.
I don't know FA.
Okay.
Maybe it's another.
FA is listed as fastball, like parentheses other.
Okay, so it's just a catch-all basically.
So it's a fastball that like isn't any of the subtypes that they give, and they give a lot of subtypes like four seamer, two seamer, cutter, sinker,
Right.
So it's like we have no idea what this guy's throwing.
He threw the ball. We don't know how.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So FA is just listed as fastball, but it's a fastball
that isn't fastball.
That isn't
in generic fastball.
Yeah, but it's not in the other types.
I see. Which are basically everything. I mean, that looks like a pretty comprehensive list.
Right. So my guess is that FA is actually selection for. We have no idea what this person's arsenal is because they're not a pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Austin Hedges throws some FAs. Let me see.
Yeah, were there any?
Yeah, he throws.
Does anyone
FAs.
know were there any position players this year who threw like real pitches? Does anyone know any? Because I'd be curious how they classify those.
Yeah,
if they're
that's a good question.
real pitches.
Didn't trying to remember.
It's like there was those Christian Bethencourt appearances from whenever they were. He was actually throwing some real stuff.
Yeah.
That was I don't remember which year that was.
Try to find it. I'm a little surprised. So this still didn't upload. Okay, I may just have to look at it after the stream.
Yeah, probably the day after the stream.
Trying to figure out because I thought I did a push. Anyway, I think that was the main thing I wanted to ask about this was sort of just like, we're sort of getting a version of it to be sensible. I'd like to play with the minors stuff. Rizzo in 2021. All right, hold on. Let me see if we've got 2021 minimum.
I don't know, he probably didn't throw 50. He made one appearance, right?
I'm just seeing what I got at the bottom here.
Yeah, Warbot is Nightbot is always the big enemy. But yeah, this
Nightbot. What did you got here?
Nightbot keeps nuking links.
Oh, we got a list of non-pitchers. Let me see if Rizzo is on this list. No. Wait. Oh, hold on. Look at this. Right at the top of the 50 pitch list in 2021.
That video, amazing.
I want to see what he throws here.
The best pitcher in the game. FA.
Oh, you know what it is? It gives him a huge stuff score for this ephus. Well, because probably like not a lot of people were throwing it, and so like compared to the others, this is probably like the best version of something.
Wait, when was that year? Was the clip where Kershaw threw that like bizarre ephus curveball thing? He threw like one of them.
Yeah,
it was against the Braves, right? I don't remember which year it was though.
Well, there's I should find the one knuckleball this year, right?
Well, that was from his Waldron's, but yeah, I mean.
No. There's a
Kirby. George Kirby had the one.
Threw the one like. Let me see if I can find.
Alex Blandino, right? A few years ago, threw a knuckleball as a position player, and I think he's trying to make a comeback as an actual knuckleball pitcher now, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, I'll figure out why this didn't upload. But yeah, it's in there. It's got one knuckleball for Kirby. I'll 1 sec. I'll try it one more time. But it does have Kirby's one knuckleball in there. So.
Yeah, you gotta get the knuckleball in there. I was compared to Greinke's ephus. That's true. Greinke probably did throw some ephuses.
Yeah. See, here you go. He's got through 49 changeups, and he did throw one knuckleball. And it was a good knuckleball, according to the. Okay, no, the stuff score was good. It had nasty movement, and it had awful location. That's what this says.
Interesting.
So it was a good knuckleball, except for location.
26 for the Kershaw pitcher. And that won't be in the data then.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that was the thing I wanted to throw at people on the baseball thing, but especially like, have I actually convinced you that, PBABIP is a thing?
I mean,
I was not convinced till I looked at this, and now I'm sort of convinced it should be.
It seems reasonable that for however small number of pitchers it is who can actually consistently command the ball to very specific spots within the strike zone, that you could get some kind of effect like that. But I'm just not convinced that the number of pitchers who actually have the ability to do that is like any more than 3 or something. I mean, it seems like a very, very difficult skill.
Right. Yep.
So I mean, which is I guess kind of what we were saying with PBAB actually early in the year too. It was like, it makes sense maybe for some pitchers to get this, but it should be for most guys kind of clustered in some relatively small area.
Yeah. Okay,
So
anyway,
yeah, I mean,
that was the main thing I wanted to do on the like real baseball. I'm happy to talk about other stuff too, but if you think this is potentially meaningful, then I do want to. Well, I'll put this link out more generally for the community, um, but then also if we could get the minor league data, I think it would be fun to kind of see if we could actually get some projections in there for some of the minor league guys.
I mean, I'm sure that data exists someplace. Just a
Um,
question of how you get it, which I don't know.
oh, and it loves Kodai Senga.
Yeah. Well, how does it deal with his forkball? Because I think it is probably the only one that threw it.
It well, it really likes it.
Or really likes it.
Well, the big thing it likes is look at this location score.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if that's like how much of that is it sort of just like recognizing the pitch is really good and saying this is the only pitcher who threw that pitch, so it must be just.
It could be, but actually, like the big thing is if you look at this versus righty, see how he's got the same thing where it's the opposite diagonal stripe with a not like the perfect hole in the middle that DeGrom has, but with a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
So like it's actually saying that the location is really good.
No, that's true. But now he's injured, so.
Well, hold on. Is he injured, or are the
That's true.
Mets
It could
just
be.
playing games with they've already lost one GM for this, right?
Yeah. That's definitely when you just hire a new GM, you just immediately start manipulating the injured list. That's definitely why wouldn't you do
I'm
that?
still trying to figure out how it is the Mets of all teams had to resort to manipulating
Yeah, no,
making up
it's really amazing.
injuries. Like the Mets are like the last team in baseball that needs to make up injuries.
Yeah, I mean, they probably did it so blatantly somehow that it was, they couldn't ignore it anymore. But
Yeah, I'm sure there was a whole story, but even so.
yeah, oh, I mean, definitely,
Um,
like the Dodgers for sure were doing it. Like it's not really much.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
they just have to do it the honest Tampa Bay way and use options.
Well, at Tampa, I see Tampa is somewhat different. They just if the pitchers have Tommy John, then they definitely go on the injured list. So you just have them throw until they get Tommy John, and then you get a new one. You know, what's wrong with that?
I would really like to disagree with you, but that is the legitimate legal way to do it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, that is the legitimate legal way to do it. So, yeah. All right. Anyway, maybe we should talk about a little, perfect team stuff as well. Uh, but
Yeah.
definitely happy to discuss this with people. So I would say at this point, given that we're going to play with this, if you want, you are welcome to share the link with people. But if they have any questions, like please point it to me because I'm still trying to learn how this works, and I'd love to get some feedback. Um, you know, and if anyone has minor league data, that would be a lot of fun to see what we could do with it.
It must exist someplace.
No, I
It's
know it
probably just
exists. I just haven't been able to find it.
yeah.
Okay, so that's one. What else? I don't know. Should we talk about some perfect team stuff again? We announced at the beginning that I think what we're going to try to do next week is we're going to try to do our all-star, our all-star voting. So we'll see if we can come up with a list, and we'll find a place to post this. Where people have access. I'll just say it that way.
What place might that be? I don't know places like that.
Maybe there'll be like some kind of Discord or something. We'll find a
What?
place.
Wild.
I'm not talking about the one where Seawit was advertising for interns. You saw that, right?
I was made aware of that situation. Yes. Yeah, I know. Unpaid interns are no longer legal in many U.S. states. So
You don't want to be his intern?
not really. I don't even want to be my own intern, really. But
So for people that didn't see it, he was asking for someone to do all the data collection for him, and in return, he might help model a little bit, because he wants to learn how to model. But I was thinking what I should do is just offer him all of my data.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, that would be enough for him to figure out whether he can beat him, a team of gym unknowns. Right?
I mean, he has shown excellent success at that in the past, to be fair. In important tournaments, he comes up against the gym unknowns and he always beats them.
Yeah, exactly, Gav. With my data collection and his build skills. Oh, you know what? Speaking of stuff we actually should do on stream, we should talk about some cards too, because there aren't a lot this week, but we should talk about them.
Yeah, a couple cards.
But we do have 40 minutes to do a TWIP draft, so should we
go
do that?
Latest entry in how bad can drafts be? It's
Well, hey,
really bad is the answer.
All right. It cannot possibly be worse than last time, right?
You say that every week. You say that.
All right. Hold on. I think we got it. We can put a poll up, right?
You would think eventually we'll get some good cards in one of these, but
all right. Well, we'll put up a quick poll. We'll see what people think we'll grade the draft. All right. Should we just try it?
Yeah, let's do it.
And then maybe we'll do an imperfect draft too. Then afterward, if we got some people around, and we will do some. We can do some cards too, but it's not a big set this week.
Yeah. We're getting decently fast with the cards actually the last few weeks. It's only taking us a few hours instead of like 10. So it's pretty good.
We are as usual at Comerica, 1995, right-handed park, best of one. I don't think we've cashed in this once or twice. But we've never really gone deep.
Once.
All right.
I think we've cashed once.
You know what? I think we actually got 2 legitimate cards this time.
We have 3 legitimate cards.
Oh, actually, in a right-handed park. I think it's still Ford and Oscar, though, right?
I think so.
I think it's still Ford and Oscar.
I mean, can we save Campanella for next week? Because
and actually, I don't hate Suitor in a best of one format.
I mean, yeah, if we had more,
it feels a little wasteful, but if we had a lousy round, I wouldn't have really complained about taking Suitor.
I'd take him over Nishek or Boog Powell.
Wait, but this Boog Powell, I mean, this is, isn't this basically like Adam Dunn?
I mean, this was, on launch, this card was actually decent.
Yeah.
But.
All right, let's go with Whitey and Oscar.
Yep.
Okay, this round we can complain about a little bit more.
I can vote this round a lot. I want to take maybe half one.
Well, I think we're taking Sanford because what else are we taking?
Yeah, he's sort of fine.
This is the worst of the gooses that we've had released.
It's also that McGriff is worse than the Gold McGriff, I believe.
It is worse than the Gold McGriff. Consuegra was a good card on release, but is just old. Okay, Consuegra's an okay card on release, but it's just old.
He's borderline. He has to be a reliever, probably. I think it probably would just take the bad McGriff.
It's probably McGriff then, right?
Yeah.
Not great, just McGriff.
It's actually sort of the one place where his VL is useful. So
Cave's Wisdom wants us to try Sandy as a start. I don't think that can work in the late 90s.
It's also borderline. He's gonna get the borderline penalty too. So it's
all right.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually a pretty good Rube. It's no longer the best Rube in the game, but
no, it's
a
fine.
very playable Rube.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't hate Valentin, especially because we don't know what position he'll end up at, and that's fine. I don't hate Freeze's bat either in this park, but I think it's Valentin.
I think Valentin, yeah. Can you follow? T-Check, I believe you get the penalty. Not sure though.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ruth for sure.
We got Ruth. We got Babe Ruth. How can you complain about that?
Can't. Babe Ruth is good.
I don't hate Steve
And then
McCaddy, I guess.
I was gonna say McCaddy, yeah.
Um, you know, the Park and Era are probably the like one of the worst for him, but I still think it's probably fine, right?
Yeah, it's just the newest card. All the other cards are ancient, so
Well, hey, but there's
take
Al
the new card.
Albuquerque. You could take the best Tiger available.
I think that still probably wouldn't be Al Albuquerque.
Do we have another Tiger this round?
Yeah,
Let's...
Rudy York.
Oh, we do have another Tiger this round. All right. All right. You know what? I'm taking best Tiger available this round.
Yep. And then probably Ryan Zimmerman.
It probably is Ryan Zimmerman, but doesn't he play third base defense too well for you?
That is true. He does play a lot of third base defense.
You know how much?
Too much.
You know if Jack Cust could pretend to be a righty,
No, he can
kind
do
of
that just about
desperately
as well
want
as
to take Jack Cust. I
yeah,
think it is Zimmerman, right?
I think it's Zimmerman.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to take Jack Cust though.
Really could use
Um,
a decent starting pitcher.
well, I think this Cueto guy's, fine.
Yep, that's good. And
I
then
don't hate
Singleton probably.
Singleton.
Yeah, this round is fine. This round draft is not so bad so far, really. Other than that one McGriff that we got forced into, it's pretty okay.
Yeah, I'd like to find one more starter. That was the one risk there. Was we could have had a fifth starter. No, we have five actually.
So I'd like Todd Pratt.
Yeah. Okay. So
For
this
this.
Pete Ward, I remember we had differing opinions on when he came out.
Yeah, it's not the
Definitely
card for
taking
me.
Pratt.
Yeah,
I
Adonis
think
Terry,
I
I
think
think has
it's
a
well. It's,
home
I
run.
forgot to scroll
Maybe
down to
more
that,
is better.
Morris. You think it's Terry or
Terry, I think has a lot of home run. Maybe I'm misremembering. That's for a different card
he
though.
does? Yeah, especially versus right. It could be Terry, or
And maybe more is better.
Pete
Terry, I don't
Ward
know.
has a
One of
lot of.
those.
I don't like. I think it
I
is
feel like
Terry. Yeah.
he's starting pitchers.
Is it ever just like Jeff Burrows and platooning with somebody?
I don't think so. I played the card in release, but
Well, the question is, can
that was
Singleton
Chris.
survive in
What is?
left?
I mean, we have to play either Singleton or Ruth in the outfield, so it's How's Graceffo? Wasn't the Graceffo kind of okay?
Yeah,
I mean, he's no stamina. Maybe it's better than Terry. Not sure.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. Um. Okay, we're taking Shanuel for sure.
And
I think
probably
it's just
Manoa.
Fielder. Well, okay, we got to talk about this then. So, I like Manoa in this park. However, I love a big bat with Fielder, because Fielder
Yeah.
really is McGriff's platoon partner.
Wait, what
right?
are we? Yeah. So the idea was Sean. We're gonna have to play in the outfield. Then is the idea.
I think he's in left, unless you just bench McGriff.
No, I think McGriff probably still better. Yeah, I don't hate.
Could also go Manoa instead.
Actually, no. We have more starting pitchers than I thought. Actually, I don't. I'll go for Fielder. I think Fielder. After looking at,
I think we need Fielder. I think Shanuel's the one where it's probably the best card, but I'm not sure where the fit is.
Well, what's our we're going for basically Fielder, McGriff platoon. Everyone else is just a starter.
Valentin is still probably going to be at second if we can find a good glove at short.
Yeah, one of the two for sure.
Yeah.
We do have Bobby Wallace in this round if you want a good glove at short.
Well, okay, I want a good glove that has a bat attached.
Really don't like this bat?
There's no I in Bobby Wallace.
Fair enough.
All right. Should we do this? Fielder Shanuel?
Yeah, I think Fielder Shunwell.
This is a like. Oh, hold on. You're not going to stop me from taking Kelly Johnson, right?
No, I like Kelly Johnson.
And you're not going to stop me from taking Butch Henry. I
No,
know
but
you want me to take Jose
really like Jose
Ramirez.
Ramirez.
I know you want me to take Jose Ramirez.
But he can play second, and then
Kelly Johnson can play second,
short.
and look at this bat.
Is that really better than Ramirez's? The problem also is Johnson. We're going into the park, like.
Yeah, but Johnson's also going to play several positions for us, right?
Are they actually useful to us ever?
Oh, second, third. Because Jose Ramirez, they're going to end up sticking it short by accident, right? You really need to play him at third, but you kind of can't.
He has to play second here if we take him.
Oh, by the way, I should forgot to do that.
Oh yeah. I don't know. They're probably both okay. I don't think there's really too much of a like Henry for sure, and then I don't. And probably about the same.
Kelly Johnson, the big problem is, do you trust the manager to get the reverse splits right? Is a problem.
No, this is probably a two-way. Like either of these guys is probably a two-way starter at second base.
Well, then I'm fine with Kelly Johnson. I mean,
yeah, I think either one's probably about the same.
All
I
right.
guess.
Let's do it now, and now we'll probably pick up a big shortstop or something. The way this is going. Okay, well, you know how much I like Tom Tresh. You don't, I guess.
No, Tom Tresh is fine. I think it's
Tresh, and is it Hershiser, or do you want to like go with an Ernie Witt type?
No, we have two catchers. I think we can probably do better than Ernie Witt.
I mean, here's Hershiser versus Hudson. I think it's Hershiser pretty clearly.
It's definitely Hershiser. Hershiser was actually somewhat playable at some point.
All right, so go this.
Derek Bell. We were taking Derek Bell for all the contact. And
it is my kind of player.
Yeah.
He has a 59 range in center.
I guess the problem was we'd probably have to platoon him, and then he would just refuse. So
yeah. No, there's the Astros version.
Okay, yeah, true.
But no, the problem is he would DH. I mean, we already have multiple DHs on the roster.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think the fact that Tresh can back up center is actually pretty important.
But also, I guess Tresh can back up third too, which is actually useful.
Yeah,
in this
he can.
Situation.
All right. Oh, this is a tough round because there are 4 players I really want here. This is we have a decent draft going. All right. So Santana actually is really useful on this roster. You've kind of talked me into the idea that Harvey Keene's bat makes sense.
Santana Goodrum would have been my...
Goodrum seems like a must-have.
My instinct.
But also this Josh DeVore.
No, I like the DeVore. I feel
like actually a really good card.
I forget it was right. Yeah, it is. I feel like given that we just took Tresh, probably we don't need DeVore, and we're better off going for
Santana,
because Goodrum already kind of does what we want Keene to do a little bit.
Sounds right. The only thing is that Santana is a 10th pitcher in a single elimination thing.
And
I guess it's never Harvey Keene, despite the bat.
Yeah, I think it's never Harvey Keene because we're just going to prefer Goodrum to have the positions.
And we have a cat. And remind me, we have one catcher left.
Yeah, we got to take the last.
All right, I guess it's Santana.
We could take Kiner Leffa. He's a catcher.
I guess it's Santana.
Yeah.
Okay, so Herman Long is clearly the other shortstop.
Yep.
I like Malone. I like Russell. I actually like Erskine as well.
Yeah, Malone is the best in neutral, I imagine, but I don't. This Park and Ira are very home run happy and doesn't have a lot of home run.
Yeah, neither does Erskine.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever. I don't think Malone looks better than Erskine.
And neither does Roselle. Okay, so it's probably Malone.
It's probably Malone, yeah.
All right. We've seen worse drafts. Okay, let's remember to take our last. Oh, you know what? Our last catcher is even like a useful outfield.
Not that bad. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat silly.
Oh, I want Cangelosi. You know, I want Granny. I guess it's got to be a pitcher, though.
We've 11. I think we should take a pitcher, probably, but they're all terrible. All these pitchers are terrible.
Wow.
I mean, they're really terrible.
You know what? Given that it's 1995 and it's single elimination, do we need a 12th pitcher? Or is Cangelosi...
Yeah, I think these pitchers are so bad, we'd rather have the tired guys come in than these pitchers. So, yeah.
Well, because also, so if we win like a 15-inning game, it hurts. But otherwise, most situations where you blow out your bullpen involve losing the previous game.
Yeah.
so you can be a little bit aggressive in this format, right?
No, I agree. I think we can throw a pitcher. We can. I mean, if there was a decent one, I'd probably take it. But they all look
I
just
agree.
horrible.
I assume Cangelosi is the one we want, right?
Yeah, for sure. And this actually might be one of the rare times.
The other possibility is Cooper Hummel as a third catcher.
That doesn't seem right to me, because actually this is almost, I think, a very rare scenario where you actually want defensive replacements.
All right, let's go Cangelosi. Let's do it.
He's actually useful.
Let's do it. This is okay. I know we normally complain. This is actually probably the best one. I mean, we're gonna go out in round one because that's the way it goes. But this is probably the best draft we've done on stream.
Yeah. I assume Cueto is better than Sanford. Yeah,
and I think it maybe it's even McCaddy, Sanford, or
Sanford. I'm sure.
It's Sanford.
Better. Yeah, it's Sanford. Cueto's worse than my dog. Okay, yeah.
Holton. You know what? Hold on. I think it's Butch Henry is the fifth starter.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
But McCaddy is a solid setup.
He's fine.
Fine. Yeah, this looks fine. And then lineups, let's see what we're doing. Did it platoon McGriff fielder? No, it tried to platoon Singleton fielder. So close. No, it tried to platoon Shanuel fielder. That's what it tried to do.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Okay.
Let's so, good cards in.
Okay, Pratt both ways. I think it's McGriff fielder.
Do we platoon Kelly Johnson and Herman Long? Maybe.
Yeah, you know what? I like that. So we go something like that. Shanuel, Charleston, Ruth. Shanuel doesn't play right? He only plays left. Oh, he plays
he
right.
Plays both. Badly. They both play both. They both play. Yeah, I think it doesn't.
I think this is the better configuration of the two.
Probably, but
sadly,
it likely doesn't make much difference.
Yeah, we don't catch the ball so good.
Nope.
No, we don't catch the ball so good. Does Nico actually not have a starting spot VL?
I guess we could put Kelly Johnson in left for Shanuel and put Goodrum at second.
I kind of like that. No, you know what? Hold on. Goodrum's our shortstop VL.
Oh, and just sit Valentin?
Yeah, look, Valentin doesn't have a ton of bat. He's got 87 range.
I guess, yeah. It's a little funny to have a switch hitter who we're just going to take out of the lineup on the side that hit right-handed with the park, but...
Yeah, but those are the stats, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And then we actually are willing to run defensive replacements in the outfield.
Yeah. Get Ruth away from the outfield. Oh, I guess we have a problem that they have an overlap, right? They both only play left.
Yeah. Tresh plays left, though.
No, I mean, Tresh and Cangelosi both only play left. They don't play... I don't think either one plays right.
No, Cangelosi plays center.
Yeah. I guess we should...
But Nico plays right.
Oh, so our defensive situation is probably Goodrum in right, Tresh in left. Yeah.
Goodrum in right, Tresh in left. That's probably the answer. Yeah. That's fine.
I suppose the other option is to take Charleston and put him in right field, but probably taking Charleston out of center is a mistake.
Yeah, all right. I think that's totally doable.
That lineup looks...
We actually managed to get
decent.
3 platoons into a draft. This is by far the best we've done. I mean, we're going out in round 1, but this is, I'm optimistic here. We're gonna make a good showing when we go out in round 1.
Yeah.
All
right. That's
all right.
I don't know how we did that, but we did it somehow.
Should we talk about some cards? Oh, we could do the PTWC. We can talk about that too, and we could do that draft. Or do you want to do some
Yeah,
cards first and then come back and do it?
let's do cards first, then we can come back and do it.
All right. I think we got,
We'll go through them fast.
I don't mean this in a negative way. It's just, it'll be quick because there's, limited set of cards this week, right? We're sort of at that point in the cycle.
Yep. 20, was it 20 or so?
I have not looked at most of these, so I'm going to be looking at them for the first time, which will be fun.
Okay. I've sort of looked at some of them, but not all of them.
In fact, I'd probably better do the important thing of exporting the card list. The fact that I have to export the card list now probably is a good indication of like where I'm at on the cycle, right?
Oh, looks like someone sold the Gary card at a 215K buy order.
Or is Hamlet around to tell me the cycle's not over yet?
I don't know.
Maybe he's on vacation. Who was it? Someone pinged me to say the cycle was not over yet, but I didn't see it in Kidney's Discord. Someone pinged me to say that.
No, that's good. That's nice of them to let you know.
Does that mean we're suddenly giving out more trophies?
Well, there's one this week.
I can't win it. I can't win it this week.
That is an obstacle. In theory, if the winner this week decides not to take it, then there will be one for next week, I suppose.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Well, C-Spore, if they had announced it, that the cycle, that there would be more trophies, I might have put more issue into sticking around. But yeah, absolutely. It sounds like a skill issue, and it's a skill issue that we have every Sunday in Diamond League the whole cycle. Absolutely sounds like a skill issue.
I'm just happy that I finally won a playoff game for Perfect League playoffs last week. I was 1-9 the last 3 weeks, so at least I got one.
Yeah, that counts. Hey, they all count, right?
Yeah, this.
So what do we got here? We got a low iron. We got a low iron here.
A low iron.
Hey, thanks to Cavacom for the raid.
Yeah. Well,
Spore's going. I see. The cycle's not over till Spore gets his trophy. Now I understand how this works.
Right.
Mike Siratka. Who for some reason I think maybe because the injury histories, I always wanted to think that he and Soroka were the same person, despite being way too far apart for that.
Names.
What?
That's true. They do have similar names.
I know, but they're way too far apart to, for that actually to be a thing. All right. Well, you know how much I like my control guys.
Right. So you don't want to play
know
this.
how much I love my lefties with reverse splits. I still don't think I'm paying 2 points for this in a cap, though.
Nope.
I think this one's just too far behind, but also part of the problem is if you want a card with this profile, Sterling Hitchcock just seems to have a lot more of most of the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's also
now you're paying 4 points instead of 2.
This card's also petite, which is more extreme, obviously, but a lot better. And even at 42, Hicks and Choate, I think I'm going to prefer pretty much always. So.
Yeah, and Hitchcock's lower in stamina, but I think when you're paying 2 points in a cap, you're really not expecting to run a starter that way because you're still not, no matter how much stamina they have, if you're running the low iron in a big cap, they're not going to eat innings because right,
they're going to get beaten up. Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's probably just an F, but
yeah.
We also have a Soroka. We have a historical Soroka in the game recently too, don't we?
Do we? I don't remember that.
No, we only have the live.
Yeah, just the live. Oh, that's true. I sort of forgot Blanton because I never played him or anything. But yeah, that's true. Blanton does have a lot of control also.
Yeah. All right. So that one gets an F. How about we go to Alan Anderson? So now that's the end of the cycle, we just decided to go through alphabetically.
Exactly.
Hey, we got a big control guy. Okay, so this is obviously very splitty.
Yeah, I mean, really, mostly in the home run, but the home run is unbelievably splitty.
So this actually is one of the things I would love to see added for, like from a gameplay point of view, I think would really be helpful. I think in historical formats, you should be allowed one pitcher minimum.
Well, it's unclear if that's allowed or not. I mean, because I think we've had some examples of it happening, and then statements to the contrary.
Okay, it should be, but I mean, it should be explicitly allowed because this would also be one of the ways, I would also like to see historical formats where, the rosters can be smaller and various things like that. But
I agree.
If you're going to have a 26-man roster for a tournament in 1900, then allowing single pitcher specialists, I think, basically gives people a little bit more flexibility to try to do something interesting.
Yes, I mean this particular one is not going. You're not going to use that way anyway because there are even more splitty guys.
No, I mean actually the problem I was going to say is I only have this as the fourth best lefty in iron versus lefties.
I don't even have it fourth. I have it sixth actually.
Yeah, I've got it behind me. Sorry, starters.
Oh, starters. Yes,
starters. I've got it behind Means, Bannister, and CC. I've also got it behind Choate, Mitch Williams, and the live Ryan Baruki.
Yep.
So I think the problem is that, it looks like the problem with this card is that he's splitting, but it's actually just that it's understated.
Yeah. And actually it's probably good because we do have, at this point, the top three starters in iron are lefties, at least my top three. So probably we don't really need more lefties in iron at this point. We've kind of got there.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think the splitty nature does mean that this is a card where, yeah, exactly. If you could have these loogies, then this is a card where there's at least a reason for a card shaped like this to play.
Yes, but you just use Randy Choate for that, so.
Yeah, maybe you use two of them because Choate is okay enough against righties that you actually just use Choate as a bullpen arm.
Yeah, maybe.
I agree. This particular card, there are other lefties you'd pick.
Yeah.
All right, so probably an F then.
Yep.
Johnny Estrada. Sorry, I'm seeing these for the first time, so feel free to jump in. And I shouldn't have scrolled down on this one. You should have warned me.
I'm sorry. I didn't get there in time. All right, it's an F.
All right, well that ruins this one for me. Can we give him an F minus for the lack of eye?
I don't think he's actually quite that bad. I have him as like the
all right.
sixth or seventh best catcher, but
take all the fun out. When is the tournament thing? Are you thinking which tournament are you talking about? This the PT whatever they called it.
PT World's Championship, I think, I think that was it.
Is that the one you mean, Ludwig?
I believe. So there was definitely some.
We haven't really talked about it, but I guess. Well, your cycle's not over, right? So are you still?
Well, I mean, okay. So the thing is, in that, it's sort of funny because, I mean, if I could have 6 all perfect packs, I mean, great. But an extra, 1.25 million, or whatever, is really not going to make any difference for me.
Right.
So, 100 packs in P25 would be nice if I win it, but I also, I don't care that much. I'll still try to put a decent team together, but yeah, if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah. I see the problem. We're up against a marbles stream. That's the problem.
Oh, that's the issue.
Okay.
No, I mean, the one thing,
we can't compete with a marbles stream.
No one can compete with marbles. Marbles is too strong.
No. We could do a marbles stream to compete, except we put up a poll and asked about it, and no one voted for marbles.
No one marbles.
No one wanted marbles.
Marvels.
Can I scroll down on this one?
Yes.
Ooh, all right, all right. I like this card. All right, now I actually better I better rate this one. Um, is this the card that finally kills Dave Kingman?
I haven't been playing Dave Kingman in full iron for a while now. I've been playing him in low iron still, so he's not going to obviously change anything there. But I do have this as the top third baseman now in iron.
He doesn't have too much defense for you?
No, I still prefer the platoon if possible, but now this is actually a position where I would consider not platooning and just playing Boggs both ways.
So I do have this as the top third baseman in iron. How did we end up getting a card that we both like that has big third base defense and big avoid K? It's just horrible. It's completely overstated.
It just has an absurd amount of stats, yeah.
However, I didn't think you would believe this is your best third baseman. So if I go with the Isidafo third base rankings, I've still got Pagliarulo and Lamb. Actually, well, in the other order. Lamb and Pagliarulo ahead of him VR.
No, I've got this out hitting them too, not just the defense.
No, I've got Lamb definitely out hitting this against, because the missing power is a problem compared with Lamb.
Yeah, well, if this had actual, if this had 50 points of power, this is probably a silver or something. I mean, it's no, I think it's a very good card though. I think the avoid K is probably, I care about the avoid K a lot more than you do generally. The avoid K is higher. I
care about avoid K.
I care about avoid K being higher.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. So that's probably where I'm thinking it's better than you is because of that.
No, but actually the fact that the avoid K is high and still has this many stats, I think is evidence that that the people putting cards together have started to agree with me on this.
Well, I mean, I agree on that point, on that, like, if you're going to have two players with the same total number of rating points, you'd rather move them away from avoid Ks. But
yeah,
if you're going to hold everything else, all the rating points equal, then I would prefer more avoid Ks.
Yep. So, it's a...
But I mean, iron is the right, this is not going to play in bronze.
No,
so
I agree. I agree. Iron's where the cards should be.
Yeah.
I was just talking about, thinking about sort of which ratings are contributing to the overall. And my point is, I think if you released this card with this shape, the avoid K would have been punished a lot more in the overall, and it still wouldn't have been an iron at this power level, the way cards were being rated earlier in the cycle. That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's quite possible. Yeah.
I mean, there is, in other words, it's the same thing. I know there's the meme about, like, I only want cards with I. Well, what I want are cards that get on base for their overall. And the way that, like, the default, game overall rating of things works, I is the most efficient way of doing it. So a good shorthand for that is they need a lot of I. You can give a card enough BABIP and take away the I, and it'll work if you give it the same overall, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the things we've been seeing is that cards of that shape have come out in the last couple of months, and I think that says that there's, I don't know whether it's been a manual adjustment for the card or whether it's an adjustment in the formula. I think we'll find out which probably in PT25 when we see, because if there are manual adjustments, we're not going to get... if there are manual adjustments, we're not going to get, 3,000 manual adjustments for day one cards.
Right. I mean, even in iron, cards like Alexei Ramirez or Bones Ely have basically been that, right? They just no I, but there's enough
defense. That's what I mean,
and
yeah.
habit.
So that's the point I was going to make, is that this Bones, the way this is rated, this card would have been a higher overall, I think, with the formulas that were being used at the beginning of the season, right? So I think this one either got touched up or there's been a change in the formula, and I think we'll find out which in PT25, because because PT25, right, we're going to mostly see cards that were not touched up at launch.
One thing, obviously, the ratings and the teasers and whatever are obviously just, they're not anything for certain, but there was I think 2 pitchers shown with a PBAP of 1 in one of the slides. which is interesting because we don't have a single. I mean, I was just at Roy Oswald, but that was a joke card.
Right. Well, I'm
So
fine. Look, I'm fine with a P BABIP being 1. I just don't think a P BABIP of 1 should correspond to giving up a 400 batting average.
I don't. It's more than that, I'm sure. Actually, 1.
Yeah. But I mean, in other words, I do think you want to be able to use the whole rating scale between the start and end of the cycle. Right? I like how Gabagoo's reminding me to just keep hitting play on the marbles. Very, very important that I do
Did you
this
get your
while
boost?
streaming. Yeah, I got to hit my boost.
Nice. Yeah, time of the cycle also makes a difference too, of course. Yeah.
Sure, but I just meant like for its power level is what I meant. So I think we'll see. But that to me has been a big change. Is that there seems to have been this attempt to bring cards that have, like single and gap hitting instead of walking type shape into the meta. I feel like that's been an intentional choice. It's been impossible to do that at the league level because things are just up against the rating caps. So,
right.
Like that was the problem we were discussing, with the legend set with this Wade Boggs, is that just when everybody's up against the rating caps, you can't give this Boggs enough BABIP and gap power to make up for the lack of home run power.
Right. Yeah. Well, unless you just make it you just call the card a Wade Boggs and make it not look like Wade Boggs. That's
no. But I mean, like, you can't make a card with this little home run power work.
Oh, yes.
Because of the rating caps, and that's just
yes.
And I hope that's changed for next time, because there are a few cards that a good version of would deserve to be a really fun card. Like a Juan Soto is just an example, right? Like a Juan Soto should be a card where the a distinguishing feature is this has a ton more eye than in the same way that if you look at the live Juan Soto, this live Juan Soto with this incredible amount of eye and the power and the unplayable defense, it gives you a real choice for what to do. But this is a distinctive card because compared with the other live cards, it actually is distinctive in the attributes that Juan Soto's distinctive, right?
Yeah, but even someone like Nolan Ryan, that's one of the reasons we've never been able to have a good Nolan Ryan, basically. It's because you just, at the end of the cycle, once the numbers get high enough, you just literally cannot print a card with 50 control. It will never, ever work.
Right. But you can if you allow it to be overwhelming in the other numbers, right? See, the problem with
if
the
you could
PT
give it
Elite
700
Soto,
stuff or whatever.
Yeah, the problem with the PT Elite Soto is for this card to work, the eye needed to be like 170. And if you gave him 170 eye, that actually wasn't a crazy number, because if you look at some of the other PT Elite cards, right? Look at some of the other PT Elite hitters and look at where the eye ended up, right? If you're going to give Ha-Sung Kim 109 eye, you can justify giving Soto,
yeah, I mean, I think that card
170 eye. The
probably need to be more than that.
The problem is just that you're not allowed to, because of the there was no way out.
Well, except for Jack Clark, apparently.
Okay, fine. Jack Clark can.
But I think I think it's a bug. I mean, I don't think that's a real. Yeah.
But if that kind of makes sense, so I think the point is to make Soto work as a card, and other players like that, you need to be able to make them distinctive. And the problem with the ratings cap, at one point we thought it was a presentation cap, and that would have been bad in a different way because it would have made the game hard to figure out what to do with. But having it be an actual ratings cap basically just means, Well,
I don't know which one is worse, actually. They're both pretty bad.
Well, I mean, here's what I would actually do. So I have to be careful about what I say as far as giving away stuff about the game engine. But let me just try it this way. The PT game engine is balanced around an average rating of 50 in all of the categories.
Yeah.
It's explicitly balanced around that in ways that like I said, what I'm saying will make sense to people that have been looking at how to model stuff. So in general, the game engine actually does weird things as you get away from 50. I would actually there are two changes that I would make. You know, one is I would try to balance things more around 50. So I would try to intentionally aim for the end game cards still being in the 100 range, like nowhere near the caps, because that gives you the ability to do something distinctive, right? And just be willing to use very low ratings early. But I think the other thing that you could do as a solution to the problem is that just as we have live re-rates, I think what you could do is you could have historical card re-rates also that just consist of like historical cards degrade, in a monthly update. And that means that if for whatever reason you kind of missed the mark and realize you need more rating scale, you get it for free.
I don't know. I think that's going to lead to a lot of dissatisfaction. People whose cards suddenly became more or less playable out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, from a mechanics point of view, it works. From a people being happy with the game point of view, I'm not sure that one would actually
No,
do
well, I
it.
mean, but then the alternative is you basically make it so that, I mean, it's not historical spec. I mean, it's not that it would go down in a predictable way, right? You would just sort of say that, like, historical card skills degrade 10% per month.
No, but I mean, you're going to get 1,000 forum threads and Discord boards that are like, hey, why'd my X card lose rating? People who rely a lot on like just looking at data, it's going to basically make all your data worthless after every month. Like if you're modeling, you can deal with that.
So
But if you're not
you're saying
modeling,
we
that's
have to
something
get a
observed.
second intern?
No. If you're modeling, you can deal with that because stuff will, it won't be hard to actually figure out. Like you just have to put a date with all your data and you fix it. But if you're just like looking at results and not trying to model off of them,
All right, that's
yeah.
good. Okay. But then if you're gonna, well, maybe it actually would make the modeling easier.
No, it wouldn't be a problem for modelers.
No,
It wouldn't be a
because a
problem for
big
modelers.
part of the problem with modeling is that, like, what happens if a pitcher with a 60 stuff rating faces a hitter with a 60 avoid K rating is different than if an 80 faces an 80. But
Yeah,
if you kept everything in the same scale year round, you'd actually make it easier on people. The Terran 12, hold on. The Terran 12 catches in 12.
10 to 10. It's 10.
I think it's 10 because if it's 6 first round cards, then it should be 10, right?
If it's 6, it's 10. If it's 12, it's 12. But actually, it's not a great system anyway because the ratio of pitchers to batters actually gets changed when you start with 12 to start with 6. So anyway, it should probably be 11, but it doesn't really matter.
No, but apparently there's a big aversion to odd numbers.
I guess I don't know.
Or is it even numbers?
I'm not sure. No, but I don't know. To me, it seems like the answer was there's two solutions. The first is that, obviously the rate of power creep this year was a lot steeper than it had been in other years, which, I mean, we've said this a million times, but I think was somewhat the fault of spotlight packs. Because it made it so you had a situation where you had to power creep the meta aggressively, otherwise people were going to have nothing to do, basically.
Spotlight packs kind of make the game unplayable. I mean, that is a problem. I was actually thinking about it. I'm curious what your answer would be. Because I loaded this in Steam recently, and I got asked, to rate the game.
Okay. And rate the game in what way? Like out of just a number?
Like thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, just thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah. Where do you end up on PT24?
Community, I'd give the community a lot of thumbs up.
Absolutely.
I'd give the game engine a lot of thumbs down. I'd give the economy a lot of thumbs down. I'd give the content thumbs up.
Yeah, I was
and
trying to figure out because I
tournament
sort of end
management's
up
somewhere in
I
the
sort of
middle.
end up at about a thumb sideways for PT 24.
Yeah, I'd say for me the positives of PT24 were the community as always, and the content. The tournament management was kind of somewhere in the middle, and the economy and engine terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that ends up overall, but
Yeah, GSG, I also have that finger up, although that's a different I got hit on the finger in BP, and I discovered that like there are certain fingers that you don't put a cast on. You know.
yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Um no, but I don't know. But seriously, I think what I would do from a content point of view is if you have these ratings caps, I think the way to make some of these cards viable is that you essentially decide that you're effectively going to work with a ratings cap that's much lower.
Like, I
And
mean,
then
and
you're
you,
only going to allow, like, it's not going to be that, like, most people get close to 125i. It's going to be the best people are getting to, like, 100i. But then you can reserve, like, more than 100 for, and I want to create
yeah,
a really distinctive Ted Williams that feels like Ted Williams.
yeah. I mean, you should probably reserve the bottom of the rating scale too for the same reason,
Yeah.
because there's a cap on the bottom as well.
Yes.
So, but yeah, it does make it tough because I mean, the range gets compressed. You can't power keep as aggressively, but then you have to do something about the economy situation
Okay,
because
but if you're going to
otherwise,
do something at the bottom of the ratings scale, how do you make Tony Suck work?
well, no, I mean you can have some guys down there, like the same way you have a Ted Williams, right, where you have Tony Suck have ones all over the place,
Right.
or like who was that guy we found that had like one walk in 3 seasons? Like give him a 1i.
Yeah.
I forget what was that guy's name. I forget now.
Okay, but we
The
agree that
but
Tony Suck should, you know.
Tony Suck should not have a lot of rating points.
Right, right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean keeping you know in the middle to start does seem like the best way to go.
Right.
So, it is probably more important to avoid the caps on the top and the caps on the bottom because, like, I mean, like this Joey J card is maybe a good example. Like, we'll get to it in a bit, but I quite like that card with the 20 control, whatever it is. So,
Right.
the fact that the bronze isn't at the top caps mean that you can sort of differentiate at the bottom still, even though they're
Yeah, I think this is part of why the tournament meta has been healthier at the low end than the high end. Like, or to put it another way, please don't give us open caps for anything you intend to be important ever.
yeah. I cannot. I don't think there are really any like people who really play a lot of tournaments and consider that like their main thing. They can build them all for tournaments. Who like open ceiling caps are the worst. There's just you don't do anything. You see how many hundreds you can put in. You put them in, and then you fill it roster up, and you're done.
Right.
Like that's it. If we could uncouple, overall rating and like cap charge, then open cap become actually interesting, right? If we could actually give Ronald Acuna 115. But
Well,
in
I
the
think
current,
I think actually, no, I would do it a little bit differently. Um, what I would do, is I would just rescale. So Ludwig, here's the problem with open caps. Basically, through most of the range, it's kind of continuous. Like a 98 is a little better than a 97 is a little better than a 96 at the same level of power creep. Like an August 97 is not the same level as a September 97 either.
right?
Okay. There are two places that's not true. No matter how bad you make a Ryan Kerkering, he's still 40 overall. And no matter how good you make a player, they're still 100 overall. And so the problem is that the gap between the best 99 and the best 100 is often the equivalent of the gap between like a 99 and an 80.
Even more sometimes, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And so what that means is instead of having to make interesting choices about 1 or 2 points, anything that allows 100 overall players in caps, you just have to, use the 100 overall players.
Well, because basically what's happening is you're getting an extra 10 or 15 or 20 cap points for free.
Right.
And, so
Yeah,
of course you're going to play that one.
it's the equivalent of basically having a miss overall player, right? So like right when Mathis was released and you were effectively getting like a diamond catcher for 50 overall, what it meant was, there was a little bit of novelty of cool, I get to play an iron catcher in Perfect League. But as soon as you got rid of that novelty,
Or you
then
just
it was
realized that it
just
actually
like
wasn't good.
then it was just like I'm losing 40 overall. I'm losing like 40 points of cap space by not playing Mathis. So you've actually made the catcher position uninteresting. The point is that, at least to me, what makes building a roster fun is when you're forced to make difficult decisions. Right?
Yep.
Maybe make them right, maybe make them wrong, but I want to be forced to make interesting decisions, and I want decisions that different players will make differently.
Yeah. But actually, this point about two-way players is kind of interesting because it's not just that the cap has to be tight now; it's that the floor has to be low enough too.
Right. So
Because,
let's give an example of a really lousy format. What if we had like an open cap where it was a reasonably tight cap, maybe a cap number of what, 8 or 9, something like that, and we had, I don't know, like a high silver floor in modern era. Let's say you ran something like that. Okay. Then the only way you can possibly build that is to just stick your best cards in, right? And if you didn't win like Ty Cobb and Babe Ruth and Greg Maddux, then you're going to lose to the people that did. That's one issue. But like you're still never playing a two-way player because the floor is too high.
Right. Well, so the thing, with let's say this tournament was identical, except it was a diamond ceiling. We took 25 points off the cap.
Right.
Which is basically the same format, but in the diamond ceiling. Now all of a sudden, people aren't going to play the same rosters, right? Some people will put in, Tariq Skubal and pay 98 points and play 76, and people will play Al Spalding for 99 and play 75, right?
Right.
It's unclear which of those is better necessarily.
Right, because in this case, what you get for Spalding is you get a bat that's slightly better than the 75s, but only plays first base, which means you're giving up a spot that normally is a really good spot to platoon in that format. Plus actually, if you want to run Spalding every 5th day, but you're actually playing him at first base the other 4, there's a little bit of a fatigue problem if you run him deep, and so like it starts to get to be a decision, and different managers might make different decisions about what works best, right?
Yep.
But last marbles race, there we go. But does that sort of make sense?
Yeah.
So I think the point is, what I want in a tournament build is I want one where I need to make difficult decisions. If you're asking about the have or have not tournaments, I think there are two issues to consider there. Okay. So one is purchasing or not purchasing a card is a kind of difficult decision. And so from that point of view, I'm okay with the idea that like you can create something that way, because there is a real decision to make, right?
Right. Like, for example, there's this Bill Dickey card, right? Well, it's actually gotten a lot more expensive than I thought, but this Bill Dickey card, which costs actually a lot more than I thought it would, but let's say it costs 100K. Maybe the Schmidt's better example, because I think that one does cost 100K, right? It's not really useful for anything except for that one sort of very restricted format. So you can decide, is it worth it to me to pay 100K to have a 10-win advantage in that format or not?
Right.
And that's a decision different players make differently.
Right. I would not want every tournament to be like that. One of the things that I think is important from a design point of view is to remember that you need a full healthy ecosystem, right? So it's fine as a shark, as a shark, you still need fish. And, if the fish never actually get a chance to have any success, you stop having fish. So you need an environment where everybody kind of is enjoying what's happening. So you need a mixture. Um, the thing that kills this decision making, actually, the big problem with the have or have not tournaments, again, is the spotlight packs. Because what the
Yeah.
spotlight packs do is they say that the answer is always, if you wait one more week, the 300,000 point card is a 75,000 point card. So you should always wait the one more week. Like one
But
attempt at a tournament is never good enough to.
the other issue with the spotlights to me is that it starts the snowball for like the really either people who spend a lot of money or people who do well in tournaments or have other ways to make points. It starts the snowball so much quicker, and you get to the point where you own every card very fast,
Right.
and then there's no decision in a have or have not format because it's not like you're
Well, and then right, and so then what it
deciding
means is that
everyone
the
just
only
has it.
differentiators are cards that either are explicitly limited edition, or because of tournaments or something, have a limited number of copies printed, and those are the only differentiators. The proper thing to do this cycle was actually probably just buy every LE that comes out and ignore all cards on release and wait 2 weeks.
Right.
That was probably the best financial strategy.
I mean, if you think about in League right now, I think there are really, when you're thinking about teams, you're thinking about basically, do they have some combination of Maddox, Cobb, Ruth, PTCS Jackie, George Wright, or George Gore, or Sam Musial, and everyone else, you just assume they have everything, every other card, because it's basically true and perfectly.
Yeah, well, it was like, the very end game of PT 23, right? What happened was, for the people that were still kind of trying to push in that game a month or two after like the end of the main part of the cycle, they could have any card they wanted, except they couldn't do the platinum missions. So they couldn't get, I guess it was Gooden, and they couldn't get Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
And who else? Did you say? Sorry.
And the PTM, the PCS cards, the Epirixie and the ridiculous busted Jackie.
Right, yeah. But basically what it meant was that after a while, those were the big differentiators, because anybody else that was kind of still actively playing would eventually get everything. Right?
Yeah, I mean, even back in PT22 had the same problem for different reasons, because just the franchise heroes mission was the entire meta basically.
Right.
So it was it wasn't, those cards were very hard to buy, but the missions you had to do them to even come close to competing, because it wasn't even just like the first tier was FH, the second tier was also the whole thing.
Right. I still actually like that design compared to what we've had since. I would have I would have made my little changes, but I liked the design.
I liked the way the missions were set up. I was not a fan of the fact that the entire top first and second tier of the meta was composed of only those cards. That did not seem ideal, but yeah. But it's still probably better than how 23 ended. I'm not sure. It's pretty similar, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of tournament metas. This cycle has been the best, I think, of like the gold meta. Pretty much the whole year has been good. We had sort of this little period at the start. It was all left-handed, and some other periods. But for the most part, the gold meta has been like pretty good all year, I think. And then it's been a bit more up and down other levels.
I think it's fine to go through cycles where where it's all one-handed or all the other.
Yeah, I guess with the cycle.
I don't want it to be permanent, but I think it's fine to
Yeah, that one lasted probably longer than it needed to, but yeah, that's a fair point. It can have cycles occasionally.
Yeah, I mean that is one of the things that managers should figure out how to react to, and not to overreact to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I actually also think it would be interesting to have a meta which is, very skewed. So, for example, what would have been the right thing to do if you had a gold meta where the pitching was overwhelmingly left-handed, but the hitting was overwhelmingly splitty righties?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a very hard time keeping that meta for any period of time.
You will, but I think that would have made for interesting decisions, and that's the main thing I'm looking for in gameplay. Is I want interesting decisions. That's what feels like a good meta to me.
Yeah.
And to me, that's also been part of the problem with rapid power creep. Is rapid power creep kind of gives you this, gives you this idea of like, oh, well, just play the card with all the stats.
Well, it's I mean, it's sort of the same way that drafts do, where it's, in drafts, if you're in doubt, you should just draft the newest card.
Yeah.
Like, it's very often the same thing in tournaments with that. Like, you should just play whatever the new card is, and it'll be better.
Well, I think drafts need to be overhauled, but the big problem with the draft, in general with the tournaments, right? I think with the content, one of the things that really changed this cycle is that Sporer also plays the game and tries to be competitive at the same time that he's involved in content. And it's important that you understand how competitive players think about the game. The easiest way to do that is to also be trying to compete, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, the tournament design really suffered because, like, if you want to know, is this a good draft format, you should try drafting it. If you want to know, is this a good tournament format, you should try constructing a roster for it. And there have just been way too many formats for things that were intended to be important where that wasn't happening. That's sort of the problem.
So something I've noticed
this thing we were just talking about for tomorrow, right? It's just, you can put a roster in, but it's not an interesting format. It's not a clever format with tough decisions. It's basically a format that will feed the couple of high-end cards that just got one, followed by giving prizes to those people that they can't use because they have every card you can get in a pack. So then what's the point?
Yeah.
Right? Like someone looked at this to me and told me, look, see, the cycle's not over. Well, okay, what am I supposed to get out of this? Right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I like one thing that I've noticed the cycle sort of on the same. We've had a lot more tournaments than any time previously where the ceiling and floor are very close together, right? Like these silver only, gold only, high silver to low gold stuff. And we talk about this concept of cap number a lot, right? Which is basically saying how many cards at the ceiling can you fit in if you're willing to play the rest of the floor.
Wait, on go ahead. I'll answer GSG's thing in a second. Yeah.
And the thing is that actually, what I found is this sort of concept breaks down a bit when the floor and ceiling get really close, because sort of an assumption that's somewhat kind of hidden within this cap number is like if it's a diamond ceiling and a high iron floor, let's say, that the difference between a 98 and a 99, is not that much because the range is much bigger, right? So you're not being able to like fit extra players and just slightly improving your backup. But when you go from an 84 to 83 and your floor is 75, you can, if you have a couple of these, you can fit a whole new starter in basically. And so the cap number really plays lower in those than it does in range is big. And I was trying to think, okay, is there a way to adjust? Is there a way to adjust the cap number for this? And I couldn't come up with one. I think the answer is you have to build it. Like, that's the only way to actually get a good cap is you have to build the thing.
Yeah.
There's just no way to fix it on a sort of systematic basis because it's going to matter which exact cards are where.
Yes.
And if you do not build it before you release the thing, even if the cap number looks good on the surface, right? Like a cap number of, 6, 7, 8, whatever, some number that people usually think makes for good building, it might be bad for that particular grouping of cards.
Correct.
And like, yeah, you'll get it okay a lot of the time, but you got to build the thing. There's just no other way to do it. So yeah, I think it's really important that the content and the tournaments setting are done together for that exact reason. Because if you're going to make a format, you should know which cards are coming that might play in that format, and the other way around. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's important to make sure that you don't do something with the format you didn't mean to have happen, or vice versa.
Right.
So I don't know. That seems like an important thing to do to me. Anyway.
Yeah, and to answer GSG's question, you mentioned sort of you get a head start, but no, you don't. I mean, or not a meaningful head start. Maybe I can win 10 standard packs.
Well, you get what can be
I didn't win the PTMS, so I'm not going to win the 100 standard packs, right?
You get what I mean. You get what even the 100 packs are not guaranteed. You get what can be an important start, right? You have to actually pull a really valuable card out of that, or it's useless.
But also,
right?
It's not a big head start. It's basically the equivalent of watching a couple extra streams. Not ours.
The biggest head start, in all honesty, is being able to construct a reasonable tournament roster for some format on day one.
Correct. That's by
you will
far
win way more packs on that than anything else, because you will run 60-70% win rates like for days, just with something decent. And you can win hundreds of packs very fast.
Right.
So that's really, on launch, the most important thing by far is to pick usually a quick format and make sure you construct a decent roster for it. That is like pretty close to what the meta should end up at. If you can do that, nothing else really matters that much.
I agree, yeah. So.
Or just get lucky and rip a big perfect and sell it to someone who bought a lot of points for $1 million. That also works, but you have to get lucky for that.
Yeah, that too. It's a fair point.
Okay, so in summary, what rating are we giving to Wade Boggs?
Oh yeah. Yeah, what do you want to give Wade?
I don't know, like somewhere between A and S, probably.
He's a Yankee, so he gets an F minus.
Right. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's quite a full S, but maybe it is. It's a very good card.
I don't have it as high because I've got 2 third base bats that are a little better.
No, it's maybe like an A.
All right, fair enough. Corey Patterson. Can I scroll down on this one?
I honestly don't know.
I tried to give you a chance to warn me.
I cannot say I've ever looked at this card.
Do I need Do I need to run my model to see if the defensive center fielder who can't hit is playable in bronze?
No, it used to. At some points in the cycle, I used to actually look at the ratings of the cards, even if my model didn't spit them out. And at this point, I no longer do that, I have to say. If the model says they're bad, I don't even bother looking. So,
is this an F minus or just an F? With that I.
It's probably an F minus. I'm not sure I play this in iron.
A minus with that
Drew Stubbs is almost certainly better than this card.
Russ Ortiz. So we're now up to full bronze here, right?
Yes. Though again, low bronze doesn't actually exist. No, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but it might exist in the next tournament refresh.
Right.
You don't think so?
I don't know. It's the best 65. I did play it in the 65 floor thing, but other than that, it's not going to play anywhere. So probably enough.
I'm just gonna check where I have it since I haven't looked at the card yet. It looks to me like it's gonna be understated without a little more control. Yes, it is. Okay.
Yeah. It's the pure, high runs floor cap card. It's its only use.
Lou Piniella. Can I scroll down on this one?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can scroll on this one.
No.
Misremembered it. Okay.
But he does have gap power, so this looks like the kind of card that I'd better actually check quickly and make sure that it's as bad as I think it is.
No, it's
Oh,
as bad
right,
as
it's not as good as Bobby Estelea.
Yeah, that's a card.
Yeah. No, I have this nowhere close.
Nope, I don't either.
Fernando Vina. Peak card.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a funny card because I looking at that second base rating, he's got an 85 rating because of this huge turn double play and with no range. So this is one that I could imagine like different models. My model hates this in a second baseman. I just want the range.
Yeah, I tend to be a bigger fan of turn double play than a lot of people, I think. I still don't want this card.
I think the bat's not good enough to make this a tough decision, but I just figured I'd ask because you.
Yeah. I think
anything new is draftable just because it's new.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I mean Ortiz is probably like the 15th best bronze starter or something. So he's okay, for draft or whatever. But you're not going to choose to play him at any point.
Wilson Ramos. I can sort of scroll down on this. Offensive catcher, but with little eye. So I guess he needs to be in the right era and to hit lefties. I guess something like that.
Yeah, I think
I don't think I can find an era that's going to fit him.
Well, even if you want that, you're just going to play Jim Leyritz.
Yes, I am.
So
well, no, I'm going to play Hank Conger and Jim Leyritz, but and
sure.
earlier I'm going to play Barney Gilligan.
You're not going to play Wilson Ramos.
I'm not going to play Wilson Ramos.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there is room in the meta for like a big kind of splitty VR catcher to platoon with Leyritz or something like that. If you want to go for like the split platoon kind of thing, the really splitty platoon.
Well, if this card had more eye, it wouldn't have been that far from it.
No, if that card had, well, also probably more defense would have helped, but
yeah,
I think you could have. That was already pretty generous to Evan Gaddis on the defense.
Yeah. Agreed. What is the Buffalo Rochester? I think I'm missing something.
Buffalo was Wilson Ramos's nickname.
Oh, is it
Buffalo? Yeah.
Because Buffalo is where he should be catching.
Yes, exactly. No, he was not a terrible player. He had some decent seasons with the Nationals.
I mean, he couldn't have been that good a pitch framer because everybody, I mean, all of his pitchers kept getting sent down, right?
Well, no, I mean, it was really, the Rays. It was really he was already sort of on the pretty big downturn. Like it was a couple years with the Nationals that this was that first. Like I think it was 2015, 2016 kind of range.
Yeah,
he was okay. He was a perfectly reasonable catcher. But by this point in his career,
by the way, while we're talking about pitch framing versus pitch yanking, I just have to show a video real quick. Let me figure out how to do this without breaking it. I'm going to end up breaking everything. But just while we're on the subject of framing versus yanking and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Yeah. You tell me, is this framing or is this yanking? Hold on, let me. I'm gonna be spending way too much time trying to figure out how to do the tech side of this, aren't I?
It's tough. We struggle with the
Here
tech.
you go. Framing or yanking?
Well, it's something. It's certainly something. I mean,
Here, we'll give you the slow motion replay.
he did move the ball quite a long way from its landing position. So
All right.
that's the thumbnail. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what that counts as. I think that counts as something. I
All
mean,
right.
I guess what is an ABS going to do with that?
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was outside.
Yeah, I could be outside. That's true. Could be outside.
I mean, look, Angel Hernandez might have rung him up on that.
It's true. You never know. You never know. Angel Hernandez can do some silly stuff.
Joey J. Well, he's got huge PBABIC.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird card because you got these sort of funny splits where the control is big reverse split. The control's a big. The home is big reverse split.
I
The
love
control's
the
a big.
reverse split on this card, and I still can't find a way to have it close to playable.
Oh, I really like this one. I have this as a very very like.
Well, yeah,
Second
because
best
I know how much
card.
you like your model loves the PBABIC side.
Well, let's do that, and it says okay, like he'll walk the lefties, and that's okay. Then he's not going to face a huge number of them, and they're not going to do anything else. So the walks are okay.
I have him. I have him about 15th among starters.
Yes, and I have him very slightly behind Russo for second.
I mean, he definitely has the highest. This is the highest PBABIC in bronze by quite a ways, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Of starters, that is to say. It's basically, I mean, Timlin has something just a little bit under this as a reliever.
Yeah, Timlin's pretty close. But Timlin also has a very different shape. The rest of the card. So I don't know. I'd give this like an A. I mean, the thing is that this kind of card was not going to play up this in the slightest because once it plays up, it's going to give up home runs and walks everywhere.
Yeah.
So this is really a bronze card that's only for bronze.
I still don't want to run it though. It's partly the control and partly just the splits don't quite work.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's not really a reverse split card is the problem. It's really
it's a neutrally card in a weird way. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm certainly gonna try it in bronze. I don't have it like I have the top group in bronze all fairly close together, so it's not like I have this a long way ahead of like the 6 or 7 starters. So I'll try it, and if he's just kind of walking everyone and not pitching many innings because of low stamina and whatever, then I'll probably get rid of him.
Then he'll go back to playing Edwin Diaz like I am.
Well, that I won't do.
Actually, I'm not.
No,
I'm not playing Edwin anymore either. But
no, I don't know. I'd probably give it like a B or something. I think.
I've definitely got an F on it, but it's an interesting F.
Yeah.
So where do we want to put this?
I don't know, somewhere in the middle, like C- or something.
Sure. How about a C- with a question mark?
Sure.
This is definitely one where we disagree pretty sharply.
Yeah.
And I guess we're not going to get the data to find out, probably.
Probably not.
Don Buford. I like the D. Don't like the bat. Well, I don't hate the bat, actually.
Yeah, I don't. This is a weird card. I mean,
All right. I'm gonna actually have to check the model now.
Well, the problem is that this is sort of it's a good card that just sort of seems to run into Brett Barbary, and I don't know how it ever escapes from Brett Barbary.
So it's a switch hitter. Lowry's a switch hitter. Barbary's a switch hitter. Of those, I have this as a significantly worse bat than Barbary and Lowry, but the glove's a lot better.
Yeah, so I prefer this to Lowry, but I just kind of have it behind Barbary. I mean, you could put Barbary at third, I guess.
I have it
And
behind
place it
Lowry and
second.
ahead of Barbary, but I have them all close. This is also sort of a Brock Holt replacement, although Holt, plays some extra positions.
No, I don't think. I mean, I wasn't really playing Holt to begin with, but I don't think even if you were playing Holt, you're doing so anymore.
Sorry, I'm talking about
Especially,
second here, right? Because at third, I would just play Barbary or Barbary Suarez.
yeah. So I mean, you could maybe do something like you sort of your infielders are Barbary, Bogarts, Buford, and Suarez, or something like that, and maybe you find a way to shoehorn some other guy in there, like a Lowry or a Hudler or something if you want to, depending on what you think you're getting, or Horner even playing first to come back up third. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. It seems like a playable card, but like it can never be. I don't think be that good because I think I'd almost always rather Brett Barbary. So I don't know. That probably makes it like a C for me or something.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's got room on a roster.
Yeah.
Um,
If Barbie didn't exist, I'd probably want to give this like an A. But
okay, Rip Radcliffe, player I've never heard of before, and I made the mistake of scrolling down.
don't scroll down. Don't scroll down. Oh, too late.
Darn it. All right, that's enough.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Jermaine Dye. This one I think I know not to scroll down on.
Well, the thing is that you're not going to need to scroll down.
Okay, he's got power. He's a DH. I know. Well, hold on. Oh, he's got I versus lefties. Wait a sec. That's I versus lefties, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a right-hand version of Cal Daniels, except it's not quite as splitty, but
How did we get a Jermaine Dye with I?
yes, he walked versus lefties a lot in that year.
I don't remember him ever really. Yeah, see, this is the Jermaine Dye I remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember a selective version of a Jermaine Dye. I remember a power hitting version of a Jermaine Dye. Do you think he's getting intentionally walked by lefties? I wonder if
Maybe.
that's what it is. If he was intentionally walked by a lot of lefties that year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how intentional walks work with the I rating. That's a good question. If those are considered or not. I don't know. The thing is, I don't know that I'm ever actually getting this card because platooning at DH with like two players who can't play the outfield or the other side seems not ideal. And as a two-way, I have it behind 4 or 5 other cards. So
Yeah, so I've got him. I do have him as the best VL option at DH, though. He's got to be a DH.
right, but the thing is, I actually have Ruggiano only very slightly worse, and Ruggiano actually plays the outfield well, plays all 3 positions, and is a better
actually
VL
plays
bat.
center.
Yeah, better
he
VR bat.
plays
Yeah,
center,
so
technically.
it's an okay card, but I don't see how I'm putting it on my roster at any point.
How do you have a 14% walk rate? What happened that year?
He just decided to walk a lot. I don't know. He didn't want to run. Can you blame him?
Do steroids make you walk?
Maybe.
Looking. How many intentional walks? Can I find that?
Should be someplace.
No, only 4 out of 59 walks were intentional.
Huh. No idea. Apparently he did, though. Good old outlier seasons. Gotta love them.
Was it just an awful year in the AL Central? They all are.
That is true.
What's the last good year in the AL Central?
That's the last good. I guess. Well, the thing is that those two World Series teams weren't even all that good. They just sort of got lucky.
Yeah. We can give him
Yeah, I don't
one.
know what the
Maybe it's
last
just like
actually
maybe it's
good AL
like
Central team
a
was.
C-ish.
I think this is actually just an F. I don't see I'm ever getting to play this. Like, if I want what he's doing, I'll pick Ruggiano. If I want a two-way, I'll pick Santana or Clark or Black or Terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just like the numbers are there and its place in the meta kind of
I
isn't. It
mean,
feels
I
like.
think I'd put him on the roster, except I don't think I'm building a low silver roster the rest of the cycle.
Well, I mean, I ever playing this over Ruggiano. I guess you could play Ruggiano in the field and this thing,
Yeah.
but then you're loading up pretty heavily with relatively
Yeah,
splitty
but
DL
you're
cards.
going to see like Butch Henry and
Yeah, you'll see Butch Henry, some Jimmy Keith, and maybe a David Wells here or there. So yeah, there are lefties. But two of them feels like a lot. I don't know, especially when they're both outfielders, and you probably want to get Cal Daniels and
maybe like D.
yeah, I guess a D maybe.
All right.
Yeah, the numbers are there. It's just it's hard to find a spot for it. I think.
All right. Carson Smith. They've got a lot of stats.
Yeah, I mean, I
He's a
think
little
maybe both
splitty
these
for a
relievers.
righty, but he's still got a lot of stats.
I think so. Both these relievers, it's sort of interesting for me. So in full, like just silver, I prefer Sip. I like Sip, and I think Smith is kind of borderline. But the higher and higher you get, the more I like Smith. So like against diamonds or perfects, I'm going to prefer Smith. Against silvers, I prefer Sip.
But you know what? I was running this with a funny park, actually, the stuff I was doing before. So I think I don't like die quite as much as I suggested.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got Sip and Carson Smith really similar quality, but completely different shapes. Sip a little bit ahead of Smith, but as the top two silver relievers.
So I have Sip up at the top, and I have Smith a little further down, kind of more in the like 5th to 8th kind of area. Except as I said, like the higher up you go when you play against diamonds and perfects or whatever, then I'm gonna start
Yeah, I
liking
agree.
Smith a
I'll
lot.
put up Sip for comparison. I love the splits on Sip.
Yeah, that's what's are good.
So I got Sip
So
maybe like an A and Smith maybe more like a B.
yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. That sounds reasonable. With a high silver floor cap tourney coming up. Well, I mean, isn't everything fixed for the cycle at this point, or you mean there's another refresh? I didn't see refresh.
Well, there is a tournament tomorrow, but yeah.
Oh, that. Sorry.
There is also a high silver floor cap weekly, which of course these are very good in. Both of them are good.
Van Mungo. Well, this card doesn't have as many ratings as the ones we just looked at.
Yeah, I think the only question with this is, does it get the minus? It's pretty close. I think it could give it a minus. Could go either way on the minus.
I think it probably does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm fine with the minus.
All right, Devin White. Can I scroll down?
No, but you can look on the right side if you want.
That says 109 range, doesn't it? 109 range. Nice outfield arm.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to rate this one. Aren't I?
Yeah.
Oh, this has got to be by far the top center fielder. I probably should scroll down.
Yes. Maybe.
Yeah, all right. We'll call it good enough. It's late in the cycle. We'll give him the top center fielder.
I've got a number 2 actually, very slightly behind Hicks, but Hicks you could just move to a corner.
I've got him very slightly ahead, but yeah, you can play both.
So yeah, it seems like a good card. Should probably be on most silver rosters.
Probably an A then.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, actually, it's even better than that, maybe, because normally the problem with this card is a single position player. It's really easy to kick him out of the meta, but cycle over.
Well, there's one more set. At least I think there's for sure one more, and then maybe
Well,
I'm not sure if there was any
there's still the Tony Suck set.
Right. He can't play center field though, Tony Suck.
He can play center field. That's right.
Yeah.
Dansby Swanson. Well, I like him better versus lefties, but that's 104 range and like a legitimate bat in a silver shortstop.
Yeah. I do have him the tiniest bit behind CJ Abrams VR, but you'll just move Abrams to second and just play this at short
Yeah,
both ways.
just play this at short. This is at least an A. Well, I guess it's not really playing up because of the gap, but maybe an A plus.
Well, actually, I would have considered playing this up were it not for the Elvis Andrews release last week.
Yes.
So probably like an A plus S minus something. And maybe it's good enough for S because it is so much stronger than every other shortstop option in silver. I don't know.
Yeah. How about A plus? Is that fair?
Yeah, A plus, sure.
John Kruk. We had some good Kruks in the past.
I've had good Kruks in the past.
This is okay, wrong card.
No, you can scroll down on this one.
Yeah. Well, I like the bat. I'd like the bat even more as a silver bat for sure.
Yeah, in silver, this would definitely be playing. This would be I'm assuming the top first baseman in silver. Even in low gold, you start getting Votto and Molitor.
Yeah, I think this runs into like even just VR. Doesn't this still run? Well, work it out. I think I like this just a little bit better than Votto VR, and it's much more playable VL.
I have Votto a little bit better VR, but this is better VL. The thing is that I think if I want a two-way low gold, I'm going to prefer Molitor.
Well,
and then
because low gold's also very left-handed right now.
Low gold's very left-handed, yeah. I mean, there's the Merrill Kelly and the Zach Godley for righties, but there are a lot of lefties after those.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, this is like an okay card. The one tournament where I would have really wanted to play it actually is the one that fired today. This ball go far, except he misses it by 1 year. So that was a bit unfortunate.
We allowed to talk about John Kruk and ball and
Yeah.
I don't think we want to talk about ball go far on this one.
Okay. Maybe fair enough.
And the bat's not good enough that you're ever DHing him.
No, I mean, yeah. I don't think he's playing the outfield.
Maybe probably makes him like a B or C.
Yeah, I think like a C probably.
All right, we can give him a C. Shane Victorino. Well, I love the defense. I'm guessing I'm not going to be able to scroll down and be happy here.
Probably wouldn't recommend it, yeah.
Well, okay, no. This is much better than it could have been, actually. The fact he's better VL is tough because there are a couple of these splitty center fielders. So the funny thing is I actually don't hate this card VR. The problem is I love Sawinski in center. And your model is going to hate Sawinski, so you may really like Victorino.
I mean, I think Victorino is probably my local center fielder if I want a two-way. I do prefer Swinsky VR. So yeah, local. I think with Victorino full gold, it's probably too much for me. Like
You're
VL
just thinking
is really bad
because
then.
VL is actually the strong side of the platoon.
Probably, yeah. I mean, there's also this Tommy Davis. I think is another option who you're giving up some defense and a little bit
I mean,
VL, but you get a much more real
the
VR bat.
problem is I'm tempted by the defense, but I kind of want to just throw Cody Ross in center and Nash.
I prefer Cody
That
Ross.
has to be wrong, but
No, I like Ross in center too, but I'm just going to move Ross into a corner then. I'm going to run Victor. I don't have a problem with that.
So two-way I have Sawinski ahead of Victorino, but it's close enough that I could see why you'd have Victorino better because like Sawinski's the kind of shape that my model likes better than yours.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't play this in full gold though, and probably even like gold 4 stuff. It's not going to worth 2 points for this over like Brenton Doyle.
I agree. Yeah, Doyle's great for gold 4.
So I don't know. It seems okay, but not an important card. Yeah, something like that. The left and right field are sort of useless because you don't want this anywhere but center.
Yes. And then we got Rorik Harrison, who I've never heard of, but I guess he does get the Orioles defense BABIP.
Yeah, this is not a guy I'd ever heard of either.
Where do I have?
I don't want to play it though.
I don't have him much of anywhere.
No, I mean the thing is that like the top 5 low gold relievers are also relievers you play in full gold, so it's tough to break in
there's
there.
Not a lot of room. All right,
yeah.
So finish off with an F. We made it. Here, you know what we can do before we raid into the TWIP? Is there a TWIP stream tonight?
I don't know actually.
You know what we can do? We were talking about this PTWC. Should we do that draft? We can do that draft.
We got a question. Remember making Sutter, Gagne, Gooden, Seaver is for sure the best of those. Then probably Brown, Gooden, Suter, Gagne. No,
that's the Immortal Season Seaver.
Yeah, Immortal Season Seaver is really good. That's the best of those by far.
I think now that you can't have the good right-handed Parks anymore, I might prefer Brown.
Comerica's still in.
Yeah, so Seaver's going to be pretty park dependent.
Yeah, I like Seaver. So my rank would be something like Seaver, Brown, Gibson, Gooden, Sutter, Wood, Gagne, something like that.
I'd be really similar, but I'd put Seaver behind Brown.
Okay.
But there's going to be some park dependence in there.
Yeah, park dependence.
All right, here we go. PTWC2PD. I'm supposed to know what that stands for. Is there anything we need to know about the format?
It's 6 perfect rounds and then 7 diamond rounds. So you pick 2 out of 12 in all rounds.
Horrendous. Okay.
Yep.
Why? All right, whatever. Let's just do it. Modern,
same thing.
The Munhack thing. All right. Well, this is okay. So it's wow.
Okay, so there are only 3 options,
choices
right?
here. No, but there are 3 choices.
Yeah.
You don't want to take wrong Mauer?
No. I wouldn't even consider taking right Mauer.
No. All right.
It's actually not an easy. This is a tough round.
This is actually a tough decision. Okay, so it's more like a perfecto.
Well, it is, except that you can get assorted garbage in the last 7 rounds, right? You can get really bad stuff.
Okay. So I assume you're thinking what, like Burley Kent?
Yes, of course. Well, I was considering Tejada also actually.
Yeah. I think it's Toad and Brown anyway.
I really like that Honus card, and especially so early in the draft, the fact that it can be legitimately playable at 4 positions is really nice.
Played second base.
Yeah, but even still, like mean, you can actually play all 4 of those positions, and you're not upset about it.
You think it's Brown is really good, and Toad just fits perfectly.
Toad is worse as a pitcher than Brown, but with the 123 stamina and knuckleball, he's going to be able to pitch forever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just Toad Brown. I don't know. This is a really tough round.
I think it's Toad Brown. Oh, Hans is so good.
This is a really tough round.
Hans is so good. Wow. Hannes is really good.
Well, yeah, man. I guess some of this depends. Do you think? Well, how good are the diamond relievers going to be? Because the diamond relievers are sort of decent. Then it's probably only taking this. Then it's probably Brown
it's
Wagner.
Probably Hannes in a starter, and then the question is which starter.
Well, it depends how good. How like are the diamond relievers like decent? Will you get a couple decent ones? I think probably you will, and then you're going to prefer Brown.
Yeah, I think
I definitely
in
prefer
this
Brown as a
park,
pitcher.
probably you want Brown's homer prevention, and you just. Oh, I hate turning down Toad.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, we'll do it.
That's the toughest round I've had in a while, though.
That is a tough decision. Oh, well, we guessed wrong. Okay, so we're taking Campy Seager, I assume. Although I don't hate
like Cooper too.
I don't hate Cooper. I don't hate Nathan.
I'm kind of tempted to take Cooper Seager, actually.
Yeah, maybe Campy's the one we can skip. All right.
Yeah. Because Honus will just go play first or third or right. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Well, we got Randy and is it just
No, we get
Randy and the wrong Barnes? So it's
no.
right, yeah.
Yastrzemski. We got Yastrzemski. And Yastrzemski and Foster. Foster's got to be better than Randy, right? That's the good Foster.
Oh, is that the good Foster? Hold on, let me.
Yeah, Bill's the good one. Reeves the bad. I've screwed it up so many times.
What?
But I screwed that up so many times. I also took a tournament edition Cy Young recently, which was not good.
Okay, that's the good Foster. All right,
good Foster. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then it's Foster. You don't think it's Stellan Betances?
I do think it's Stellan Betances.
And this is, but I correctly figured out that this is the wrong Ross Barnes.
Yes, it is the wrong Ross Barnes.
The
right Ross Barnes would be taking.
Well,
okay.
Wow.
Yeah, Udro, I guess. We got Seager already? I don't know.
This is the bad A-Rod.
Can we trade Seager for Campanella?
Okay.
And take
I still
Boudreaux
think
Brett?
I want Brett. I still think I want Brett first off.
Definitely Brett. If we could just trade Seager for Campy and get Boudreaux, that would be great.
Is this King Kelly? And
no
just
way.
Stick the bat at catcher?
Is it insane that I still want to take Boudreaux?
Yes, but I don't completely disagree. I also don't hate Helton.
I mean, Helton, we're committing our Honus to right field, which I guess is fine. He's going to have to play somewhere.
Hannes is going to play third base VL.
Oh, but third base VL and right field VR. Okay, yeah. We just hope to get some kind of worth or something. Really, the correct thing to do is go back in time 2 rounds, take Campy Cooper instead of Seager, and now take Boudreaux.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be great. But yeah, you're right. It probably
King
is
Kelly. Better. I mean, I don't hate King Kelly for the flexibility either, because this is our 5th catcher somehow.
We get 12 though. I mean, it's. Oh, I think it's okay.
All right.
Also, Kelly.
We'll do this. All right, we'll do this.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. We're getting good cards, but we're also guessing wrong on the direction. So.
Well, no, I mean this one's really easy, right?
It's pick. Basically, it's pick 2 out of Spawn, Maze, and Sheets, right?
Right. Yeah, some two of those. I
You think I got the right two?
think so.
I think I got the right two.
Yeah, there's a lot of lefties at the moment we've got, but that's okay.
Well, all right. So you remember when I said we were gonna platoon Hannes at third?
Okay.
I may have said that, but I don't think that's what I meant.
Oh, I think that's what you meant.
Oh well, all right, okay. So wow, hold on. This
No,
is
this
a
one
heck
isn't.
of a round.
No. This isn't hard. This is not hard. There's no way we're ever taking
I've
Schmidt.
got to take Oscar. I've got to take Cy, but I really want that Schmidt.
No, there's no way we're taking Schmidt.
Hold on. Before you do that, though, I just want to remind you what the park looks like.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. I'm never taking Schmidt.
In that
We'll just play
park,
Honus.
no, but in that park, you don't want Schmidt's bat.
No. This is great. We're gonna play Oscar and right. We're gonna play Honus DH or third. We'll just play Honus at third, and we'll platoon blood at DH or something. It's great. Like this is perfect. We couldn't have asked for a better round, basically.
I know. I just want to find a way to take Mike Schmidt.
Yeah. If we get the gold one, you could take that.
We're just making up for like all the bad rounds we got, in previous drafts. We're getting all the good cards in the same.
This round is not. I mean, McLean is an obvious pick.
McLean's fine. Nepper's not awful, actually. Carroll is our 7th catcher.
Okay, I'm fine to pass him, though. He's terrible.
I
don't hate Sam Crawford. Given that we have Charleston.
The problem is he only plays one position,
and
Hannes is going to end up probably in
that's true. Hannes will back it up. No, Hannes is going to be a third, and Brett will be a DH, I think, right? We're going to play Yaz, Charleston, Mays in that, or Yaz, Mays, Charleston.
Or Helton might.
Maybe Gabe White.
Right?
Gabe White's okay.
Brett actually is a good defensive first baseman. I think Helton may be DHs.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, this draft is very good. Certainly for our standard, this draft.
Maybe it's Gabe White.
Yeah, maybe Gabe White. Gabe White's okay. Probably don't need more lefties for our very lefty-heavy rotation.
Then you could go Juicy instead,
No.
who has more
White
Steve Abbott.
White's definitely better than Juicy, isn't he?
White.
Yeah, Gabe White.
Yeah, I'll put up the comparison. I mean, you get the P. Babbitt from Juicy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely.
But the 10 points of control. No, it is close.
Actually.
I'm pretty close.
That's pretty close.
But if we are, actually, given how left-handed we are, maybe it's.
There's 3 lefties and 2 righties. This rotation is amazing, but
maybe it's Juicy then.
Yeah, maybe
actually,
Juicy.
hold on. Wait, why don't we bring Nepper and put him in the pen?
I guess, yeah, he probably is better.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Sure.
Here we go. We got Chicken Wolf. Okay, this is actually another solid round. Okay, I think Royce Lewis.
I think I want Lewis and McManus, probably.
The only problem with Lewis is it's positions we don't need, but he's such a good card.
McManus looks like I think we should take him because this is a lot of second basemen. We only have 4 left after this, and we have none, and he's sort of okay.
Better than Orlando Hudson for sure.
Yeah, and that Frisch is even worse than Hudson somehow.
Is this the Frisch that got removed or the other Frisch that got removed?
They're identical. It does not matter.
Well, no, I thought one was a 92 or something. There were two. There were 2 low diamond Frishes, right? No,
the other one's a
one was a high diamond. Sorry.
Yeah, the other one's 97, but their stats are basically identical.
All right, I think it probably is still Royce Lewis.
Yeah, I think it's just Lewis McManus. The pitchers are bad.
Necro's not great. Yeah, I hate McManus. I really would rather take Riley Green, but probably should be McManus just to be safe.
Yeah. Well, because we do risk getting a situation where we have to take both catchers and second baseman, and that's quite ugly.
Well, this is our 8th catcher, so I think maybe we just take Yachty as a backup catcher.
Yeah, and probably Presley.
Every
time I see
Holiday, actually, Jackson Holiday might be our starting second baseman. Is the only thing.
Maybe. I see, every time I see that Carter Caps, I think it's Jose Fernandez for a second, and then realize it isn't.
Yep.
But
Actually, in addition to Presley, there's also this Hall. If we
Presley's
wanted,
got to be
if we
better.
wanted the lefty specifically.
I don't think we need more lefties. I mean, we
All
already
right.
have Nepper. And,
Okay, you know what? Do we skip Yachty? I mean, he's not a great option. Do we skip Yachty and do we take Holiday as
I think I'm probably more worried about running into problems at catcher than second. So I think I'd take Yachty.
Actually, it could also be Dave Smith.
Maybe. I don't know. It's taking. I mean, it seems dangerous to not take the catcher or the second baseman.
We'd have four catchers left, right?
Yeah, 4 catchers for second
So
baseman.
who are the catchers? It's all historical form. No, it's not all historical, but they're only.
You can't get.
It's only
can't get
like
Torrey.
one or two.
The ones we want are Posada and William Contreras.
Either Contreras is fine.
Yeah, we could get Darrell Porter.
Yeah, I think there are a bunch. I think there are a bunch of better ones than Yachty.
There definitely are, but we do risk ending up in a round. We have to take a catcher over an actually good card. I think well over 3 burner guy, but third round teams. Third round draft anyone known? 0. You'd have to have like all 8 teams in a thing, and that's very unlikely. Or 4.
Yeah, there's Rally. There's also. I mean, I'd even take like the the Diaz from the home run.
Yeah, I guess if you just think he's terrible, then it's probably okay to pass him.
Well, the bat's terrible. The glove. It is 104 catcher ability in a modern format.
Yeah. All right, I don't hate it.
You don't want to take Jose Fernandez?
I would love to take Jose Fernandez.
I mean, if there were a second reliever I really liked, I'd feel more strongly. Dave Smith is, kind of okay.
Yeah.
I wish we had been able to take Jackson Holiday instead of McManus.
Yes. Well, if we could undo it, we could have Campanella and Boudreaux right now, which would be pretty good.
All right. I think let's take the risk on Dave Smith.
All right.
He probably is the second best. Yeah, let's take a risk. We'll get a catcher. Okay. Well, here are 2 more catchers for us. So.
Who are they?
Oh boy.
Let's take neither of them.
Well, I'm definitely taking this Dave Henderson, right?
No. Yeah, we need a left fielder of some kind. Is the problem?
Do we need a left fielder? Well, okay, Oster can play left.
Oh, I guess that's true. We put Oscar enough people tune in with Yaz, probably. Okay, that's okay.
All right. Jack Rowe plays shortstop.
We don't really need more shortstop stuff.
Are we committed to taking the last 2 catchers? Can we do worse than this? Is the question.
It's going to be hard.
Just take the last 2 catchers.
We could get lives.
There's a live Real Muto.
There's a live. Oh, the rest of them went out to gold.
Is he the only live catcher in the end that ended up diamond?
Oh, maybe Sean Murphy.
Adley's.
I thought Adley went down at the end.
It might, yeah.
I think Sean Murphy may have ended up as like a 91, I want to say.
We probably should take the risk then, right?
Probably. These are so bad.
So
I think Rowe
is it Shupp?
I'd say
it's probably Shupp for one of the options then.
I don't mind Volpe, actually. Oh, did Adley go up at the end? Okay. I thought he went down.
I thought Adley ended up diamond, but yeah. I don't hate Volpe. I mean, at a minimum, Volpe saves us from a situation where you need to take a second baseman and a catcher, and there's a good card.
Yeah. Maybe we skip Shupp and take Henderson and Volpe? I don't think Shup is great.
We need 3 more pitchers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Lewis doesn't play left either, does he? I just want to make sure
No.
the left fielder
We do
is a
have
bit of a thing.
we have Oscar. Like Oscar and Yaz are left fielders right now.
Yeah. All right.
So it's probably okay.
Come on, catcher. Okay, well, Colin McHugh's fine.
Yep. We did not get a catcher.
I don't.
So
I
ideally,
would have been happy with Rollins except for like what the rest of the build looks like.
yeah, we really like someone who plays left field here. If we can do it, maybe just Jordan Romano and just he's okay and
I think
keep
it's
going.
well, Romano's a little splitty. So is it Romano or this Lemon doesn't have? This Lemon's also splitty and is not
Romano,
good
yeah.
enough.
I think I take Romano.
We could take Greg Nettles.
Okay. I don't usually like taking irons in diamond drafts.
Ben Zobrist is very
And Zobrist actually does play left field, I think. It's
he does
not
play left.
the craziest idea. It's really not the craziest idea to
The
take
fact that we
Zobrist.
took Volpe though makes me think that it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, we probably have to do this because we could go like catcher in one of the remaining rounds, and that's what we're taking.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, good catchers.
Well, there is a catcher. It's not a good
You know
catcher,
what,
but it's
though?
a catcher.
I think this is a better.
It's better than the other ones for sure.
Yeah.
And then McCutcheon, of
So
course.
Erstead is actually an
No, we got
option.
McCutcheon. We got
What?
McCutcheon. We got McCutcheon.
Oh, okay. So do we have a second first? Oh, Brett plays first.
Brett plays first.
Okay.
And Honus.
Wait, Oscar plays first.
Yeah, Honus plays first.
All
We've got
right, so we're okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah, so
have a catcher
basically
and a
fourth.
pitcher.
Yeah, we're good. We need a catcher and a pitcher. Whoever the last catcher is the best pitcher.
You know what? Hey, Russell Martin is a catcher and a pitcher.
That's not the worst.
He's a catcher and a pitcher. And this F-Rod's, this K-Rod's actually pretty good.
K-Rod.
All right.
Yep.
We did it.
Yeah, that's a very good draft.
This is one of the better drafts we've done on stream.
Yeah, I mean, second base is a little weak. Catcher is not ideal, but
No, but I don't think we missed a second base option, and we got a lot of good options. We did miss a catcher, but we were still.
We didn't know we were gonna get Lou Boudreaux later, so
Yeah, so it's probably the 3 lefty rotation. What McHugh's probably the closer.
Yep. McHugh's definitely our best reliever.
And probably K-Rod and Presley are the high leverage options.
Yeah, McLean, I'm guessing, is pretty similar to Presley and and then Nepper and Smith and Romano are lower leverage guys. That looks okay.
Something like this.
Probably we should not have Dave Smith be an emergency starting pitcher. That I don't know why the game would even try to do that.
Hey, no, I got nothing. All right, and then are we platooning? I think we're platooning at catcher.
I guess so.
What do we got here? Okay, so.
Okay, so first
off, Oscar.
Yeah.
Why do they have Oscar DHing? What is this?
It should be Helton DH, Brett first, Honus third, Oscar right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay. So, I think it's Oscar probably plays right.
Yeah.
Helton probably DH. I like that one way.
Yeah, and the other way we're going to platoon Yaz and McCutcheon, I assume.
I think that makes the most sense, except we probably swap the positions around then.
Yeah.
Like, we might as well let McCutcheon... Oh, no, McCutcheon can't play center.
Well, I mean, Mays in center. McCutcheon can play them all.
Probably McCutcheon plays...
Is Royce Lewis better than Brett? It's not impossible.
Probably, but actually I think Hannes is going to play third. Right?
Yeah. So who's our DH then? Probably is. Oh no, Henderson. Henderson is probably well.
Hendu will DH then, right? Something like this. Does that look
Yeah, I
right?
guess so.
That looks fine. Um,
Yeah, it looks all right.
this looks pretty doable to me. I
Henderson
think
better than.
we actually
Oh
got a
yeah,
solid draft.
Henderson might be better than McCutcheon. We have to move Charlton to left. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. And
Hendu
DH
is
Kutch.
well, let's see, 95 range, 106 arm,
Oh, they're about the same. Okay, doesn't really
and
matter.
McCutcheon 95 range.
Yeah, they're similar.
So Hendu's a better defender in right, but Oscar's so good that I think you'd rather put Oscar in right.
Yeah, it probably doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I
it's
think
okay.
I'd rather put Oscar in right.
Doesn't make a huge amount of difference, probably.
All right, we did okay plus Marty McManus.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing that we did.
All right, I think
We
do
did.
you want to? Is there a way to do your draft on this too, or have you already done it?
I haven't done it yet. I can stream it to you, and you can show it, I guess.
Do
So
you
give me
want
a
to try to
second.
do it?
Well, if I get you that draft, I'll be happy to.
Well, I just want to point out because you did it again. You do continue to be the Cy Young whisperer.
That is true. I don't seem to get him for myself all that much. I did pull one on my. I didn't have to buy it, which was good. Okay. A second. I have to get the draft.
Let me see if I can figure
load
out
it up.
how to stream it. You know, if the computer blows up on me, well, hey, y'all, it's been a nice stream.
Yeah, I might try to. If you're still trying to push stuff, I might stop that.
No, it's actually there's a GitHub problem where it didn't pull. Like
Well, that would
it's
do it.
pushed to GitHub and then it didn't pull. I don't know why, but it didn't. Pull.
Okay, I'm gonna start streaming to you my game. Here we go.
Okay, so then what I want to do, let me see if I can figure out how to make this work. Okay, you're showing that. So now what I need to do is
Work.
it will as soon as I figure out how to set it up properly. Getting close on it, I think.
Yeah, Mortal Manga. My game has been crashing constantly. Also, I don't know why exactly. It's very annoying.
I think that worked, and then I just have to crop it, maybe.
I see it on the screen. Oh, there's a kidney show me. There's a way to hide these things on the bottom somehow. You have to. I forget what you have to do.
Hide. Aha! We did it.
There you go.
All right.
And probably make it bigger if you can somehow.
Move the rabbit ears a little to the left. All right, let's do it.
Okay, that's decent. All right, let's go.
All right, now the question is, am I a Cy Whisperer? Well, you got Bobby Dorr.
I got Bobby Dorr.
That's a start.
But I think I'm taking McClanahan Dickey because they're the only two playable cards.
Probably McClanahan Dickey. Wait, hold on. You got Bobby Dorr and Jeff Kent.
They can't both play second.
I know, and you got Hidalgo, and
There's a lot of good stuff in here.
I assume there's you don't look at like Matt Olson to get a bigger bat, right? I think it's
so.
just McClanahan Dickey, but it's not a great round.
No, McClanahan's okay. I don't mind McClanahan so much. And of course, I got Johnny Bench.
Wrong, babe.
Who I'm still probably taking in all honesty.
I think you still want Bench.
And probably Sewell.
I
mean, I don't. Everything else looks bad.
Probably supposed to be. I mean, so for these drafts, I actually still kind of like a card like Sherry McGee and Babe because they don't get nerfed the way, they do by normalization.
Well, that's true. I just like Sewell has a lot of positions that are useful.
So yeah, the question is, do you ever not take the second catcher? I think it's still Sewell Bench, but
I mean, I can play bench at first or something. I don't. It's not so
Yeah.
bad. Like I play him first VR and
All right.
catcher VL or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine then.
Okay,
Not the best round. All right. Well, Maze.
I guess I'm just taking Rivera because everything
I
else
think
is
you just
horrible.
take Mo. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I got
mean,
Papelbon too, which is kind of funny. But
but I don't think it's Mo and Papelbon.
no. Maze is too good.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when every other card is horrible. Makes it much easier to pick.
Your draft is so much easier than mine.
So far, it is. Like I got the bad Schmidt.
Actually, Semyon is at least okay. I think it's Semyon Boggs.
Semyon Boggs,
probably, right?
yeah.
What else is it?
Probably Wainwright, who's the best pitcher, but
I think it's Semyon Boggs. I mean, Semyon Boggs are at least both like credible starters.
Yeah.
You know,
that's right. I just need some. Can I get myself a Cy Young? No.
Night. Yeah, you get one more
this
shot.
Round, I got them. I got every catcher apparently. I got the Bauer too, but I can't take him.
This is a round. This is a round right here. I think it's Suter.
Ed Williams probably.
And is it ever just Suter and like
Actually,
Rob Nen just to avoid having to tie up the DH spot?
Yeah, it is probably Suter.
I actually think it might be Suter and Nen, as stupid as that sounds. But
I don't know. It's already having a reliever,
Ted, right?
I think it's Ted. I don't like having three. Like two relievers, I'm already not so happy with. Three relievers, it seems like it's pushing it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I think it's definitely Suter. Let me start with that. It's definitely Suter.
I think it's Suter and Ted. Like.
I would go Suter and Nen and hope to because you're sort of in a situation where you've got to hit something in Diamond.
Well, what card? I mean, the only card I'm looking for is Sheffield, right? It's the only one that's better, basically.
Or some
everything else
or some splitty cards that add up. Yeah.
I mean, if I get Sheffield, let's put Ted in the field, and I'm happy I got Sheffield. Like, it's not that bad.
I think that's probably right.
I think I have to take Silver King and Spawn.
Well, no. I think it's. Oh, well,
I mean, I
was gonna say
my infield's. Yeah, my infield's full already. If this was the good Carol, I'd think about it, but it isn't.
No, I still would find a way to get him in there. I think.
I don't know. I think I have him with one starting pitcher. This is my last perfect round.
Just not great.
I mean, in this thing, he's not like I use a lot of home runs. I don't know. Seems okay.
All right.
And I don't know what I'm doing with Kim because like I got three non-splitty infielders already.
This is back to our usual drafts, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is much more like the normal one.
Yeah.
I think it's this.
Hey, Carl Furio exists. That okay? As bad as the perfect rounds have been.
I mean, I would take
this might actually be the roughest round.
This Bobby Wallace is okay if I didn't already have my infield full.
Well,
I guess it's
Sewell plays three positions, so you can do it.
No, I can't. I guess I could put. No, I think Bagwell.
I just mean like as a backup. I think maybe it's Wallace Bagwell.
Yeah, probably. All right, I'd have to go back into it at some point. This is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is not the best round I've seen. All right, let's
Scott,
get a good
Trevor
round
Rosen.
here.
I probably want Lamet.
Well,
Lamet is probably a starter. So Scott Lamet?
I guess. Wow.
I mean, it's not great, but
I think you're right. I think that's all it is, right?
Yeah.
The problem is if Lamet's a starter, you might end up needing a 13th pitcher because this is going to be a really high run scoring format.
I mean, we'll see. I have 5. I could get. I mean, I only need 2 of the various diamond starters. So then, so I could get them still in theory. But yeah, I do have a lot of positional flexibility, which is
Yeah.
good for that. If I'm gonna do it. All right.
Yep.
Okay, John Clarkson, I guess, because I need pitching really
Wow.
badly.
You know what? Well, if you need pitching, you need pitching bad, and you got pitching, bad. Um, is it
I need
Giambi?
outfielders. Yeah, maybe
I
Giambi and I
think it's
platoon him with
just
Bagwell.
Giambi. You platoon him with Bagwell, and it's at least a bat.
Clarkson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need outfielders too, but I just have nothing. So
Well,
okay, what to do about
you're
it?
not taking Jim Rice. You're not taking Live Soto. So
No. So, yeah. All right. Okay, doesn't get better.
well,
I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with this round.
Kruko.
I suppose Max Manning is the least terrible center fielder, reliever.
Might be Kruko even. Who's least terrible.
Let's see.
You know what? Actually, I think it's both. Who else are you taking in this round?
Oh my God, they're so bad.
What? I mean, actually, who are you taking besides those two in this round?
This A-Rod is not the worst.
Yeah, but you've already got a third base only, a shortstop and third only, and Sewell.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So I'm not sure where you put him.
At least I don't have to worry about catcher.
I think
Can I trade this for?
I think it's Manning Kruko.
Can I trade this for the gold Paul Blair? I would do that if I could
I
take the gold
know.
Paul Blair. All right.
So I've got some bad news for you. I don't think you're winning the 100 standard packs.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I'm no expert, but okay. Bill Hoskins is actually Hoskins and Clark
is fine.
That's actually about
fine.
That's almost your perfect round at this point.
Well, I could get Slaughter or Arlette.
Okay, the LEs are in there. Yeah, actually,
yeah.
If you get Buzz, he's probably a two-way player for you in this draft.
That might actually be true. It is really sad.
Don't you think?
All right. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay,
Gallon is what you needed, and
Gallon is one of my starting pitchers.
You might end up with Riley Green. Just Gabe White's fine.
Okay, so what do I need? I have 10 pitchers, except one of them is Dinelson Lamet. But probably Lamet is not starting anymore because Clarkson and Gallon are the two starters.
You need one more outfielder who can play right field. You maybe want a second.
Yeah, I probably want one more outfielder and one more infielder, and one more pitcher in these other three cards.
Yeah.
So what do I have to come? I have two center fielders and a right fielder. I have one infielder.
But actually, no. You know what? You might even want two outfielders because Ted's really not an outfielder.
Well, he's a backup outfielder. I'm sort of okay with that.
I mean, what you really want is like a Nolan Jones type.
I really want time machine.
You really want Buzz, who also plays like a random infield position and just does everything. All right. I think we should just like materialize a Buzz for you.
I kind of want to take Mark Ellis. Is that insane?
Yes.
One, two, three.
By the way, I'll show it afterward. I'll show it afterward how.
Okay.
What?
Yeah,
What? All right.
Smart.
Sorry,
Ellis card is
yeah.
This Mark Ellis card really is not that horrible.
Getting a black screen, Mark is saying? I'm okay.
Yeah, it seems to be flickering sometimes. Right, because the last round I get 3 outfielders and 6 pitchers, and I'm taking a pitcher.
Yeah, no, the problem is just that Mark Ellis is horrible, right? Isn't he?
Well, I know he's horrible. Is he? The question is he better than this one second baseman I've got to go?
You don't need a second baseman, do you?
Well, I would like one.
Semion's your starter. Sewell shifts to second to back up.
No, I don't need it, but I have 4 guys for 3 positions right now and no flexibility to move them. I guess I have bench can play third.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frankie Frisch available.
Yeah. No, thank you. Hoskins? No. So what is it then?
I think it's Green.
If it's Green, I'm basically saying I'm not taking any of these. I'm choosing the one random second baseman over these three outfielders.
No, I think you're taking both outfielders, probably. That's what I was thinking.
Does Green play stuff? I guess I could get an outfielder that plays an infield position. And if second baseman's good, yeah, okay. There's some
You want to go
upside to
Ellis? You
that.
can go Ellis. I mean,
No, there is upside to this because if I do hit a good second baseman, then my roster is much better than it otherwise would have
because I
been.
think the problem is you have to hit in order for this to make sense. That's really the problem. Okay, so maybe it's Ellis. I mean, Green's not as good as the other options bat-wise. It's just... all right, hold on. All right, one more idea. This is also lousy.
They're all lousy.
What?
They're all lousy.
Okay, take Gowan and White. And just
just-
skip the remaining pitchers.
What if I get like a Clemens or something?
Then you run with 13 because, then you run with 13. That's the other way to do it, right?
I don't like any of them. I like no options.
Actually, hold on. How many pitchers do you have left? So you're going to have a
6.
catcher, a first base. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot. I'm gambling. I'm basically going to hit 0 out of 6, and I'm going to hit the outfielder and the second baseman. Which I don't know. It feels like to me,
I tend to just hate putting bad players on the roster. I'd rather play for something good. So I think I go Gowan Green, but Gowan Ellis is reasonable for sure.
the thing is, like, the only way I'm going to do well here is if I hit some very good pitcher and some other very good card, right? Like that's that's the only way. So I think I can't take White.
Why not just hit Buzz and take both?
Well, Buzz is like a gold pitcher. It's not going to do enough.
Yeah.
Like I need to hit like a Clemens or Spalding or something, or just go Carlos or whatever.
Okay. Well, then you just take Ellis for the same reason I took McManus. It solves the backup problem.
I think Ellis. I mean, I just put him as third, and if I hope he doesn't come in. If he does come in, I probably lost already anyway.
Yeah.
And I hit nothing, but it's definitely better than Ben Zobrist. So
wow.
Percival's my best pitcher. And then I guess it's Jordan Walker. Or I could take Zobrist just because he plays everything.
I think so in retrospect, it would have worked better to be able to take Tony Perez here, I guess.
I still could take Tony Perez in theory.
No, but I mean to have taken the outfit to take Green and I'm saying Green and Perez I think is better than like Walker and
probably, but I'm not even sure that's true. I mean, Walker can play third also, I guess. How bad is this? Zobrist is really bad, right? Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah, he has eye, and I still can't recommend him.
I guess it's just Jordan Walker then.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. This was not
as good as yours.
Draft we've had on stream tonight.
I don't even know what I do.
All right. I think I should show you the best draft we've had on stream tonight and how it did.
All right. I think you're still showing me though.
What?
Oh, you're dying though. Okay. It doesn't explode.
No, here we go. It'll not explode in a second.
Yeah, less than ideal indeed. That was not a very good draft.
Here's how we did in round 1 with our great Twip draft. And you know why? Not only did Tyler Holton blow it in the 9th, but you know who blew it in the 12th for us?
Also Tyler Holton?
Also Tyler Holton in his 4th inning of work.
Why did it leave him in so long?
He threw 62 pitches.
There's 62 pitches? Why? Why would it do that?
Yeah. Yep.
He has like 15 stamina, doesn't he?
He threw 62 pitches.
Where was the reliever tiredness hook? Where was the reliever hook at? Was it
Let's
really
see what
high?
it was. No, the starter hook was really slow. The reliever hook is right down the middle.
Oh my god! Why would it do that? I guess because it's an elimination game or something, and it thinks that it. I don't know. At least Whitey Ford pitched well.
Whitey Ford pitched well. And Gabe
I mean,
White got the win, so there you go.
Bringing Holtman for the ninth made sense. I mean, Ford to throw 120 pitches.
Yeah, sure. I could almost see bringing him out for the 10th if he had a quick ninth. You know?
And then it really stopped making sense after that, very fast.
And then the multiple home runs he gave up in his fourth inning of work were not so good.
Not so good. All right. So apparently the solution is doesn't matter if you're a good draft or a bad draft, just get lucky.
And wait, did we? Wow. Wait. Kelly Johnson pinch hit for Tresh against Gabe White. Because,
that's good. That's good. No, that's good. They should do that.
Fine, but Kelly Johnson
That's
has big reverse splits.
Yeah, Gabe White's a lefty. That's good. It actually did it right for once.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how it did that. All right. Well,
it's the only time it's ever done it right, but it did it.
All right. One of these weeks. One of these weeks.
Even with a good draft, it doesn't help any. I mean, that's just...
I'm pretty sure that's the best draft we've done on stream.
Yeah, by a lot. I mean, we got like many rounds with 2 good cards in them.
Yeah.
And it just didn't matter.
Nope. We got Tyler Holton.
Yeah, indeed. You got Holton.
All right. I think we're good. Anything else we should do before is there someone to rate into?
Let's find out. Yes, it looks like there are a number of people streaming out of the park. Or if the Marvel stream is still going, we could go there too.
All right. You know what? Actually, I've got a fun one to stream into. There's a guy that does, like a really early era Puerto Rico league. Have you seen this?
Oh yes, I think I have seen that guy. Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's raid him. All right. Well, thanks everyone. So we'll be back next week, hopefully with our All-Star stuff.
Yep. So look out for a thingy in somewhere at some point.
Yeah. Sounds
very
good.
Articulate on that part.
All right. Thanks again. I'll see y'all, next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, all that stuff.
Yeah. Approximately the same.
Good luck, everyone, tomorrow in the whatever they called it.
The World Championship.
World Championship. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all.
Yeah.